5:30.
It was like 5:30.
But I put in the order and it was like, all right, it'll get there between like 7:30 and 7:45. I was like, okay. And then at like a little before 8, it was like, the order's been canceled.
Oh no!
Like, son of a bitch.
Like they said, the order will be to you by 7:41, and it was like 10 after 7. And we were like, all right. And then like it got within like 15 minutes of the time. I was like, it said what, like somebody showed up at the store.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we're not getting it when they said we're getting it, and then we just didn't get it at all.
Man, they can just do that.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
I was like,
Whatever.
I had put stuff in the order for like dinner. I was like, all right, I'll get something to eat like later.
Not like such a piece of crap that I'd be like, what the hell's, it was frustrating, but somebody's doing shopping for whatever. Stuff happens. So,
yeah.
Whatever. All right. Let's do this. What do we got here?
Are we still waiting on?
He said he's going to be late.
Okay.
He's going to be late. We go without.
He'll be late to his own funeral.
3, 2, 1. Go Nintendo Podcast, episode 953, the Rellor Podcast. Yes, it's true. Mom Brain, would you read us the Pokemon, please? We have not seen you in a while. Well, we saw you last week, but real quick.
Here I am.
She's back. Yes, there will be music today. Woo! Do not be angry at me anymore. Music is happening. But first,
yeah, you were getting
Pokemon.
raked over the coals.
Really?
I got a lot of heat for it. Yep. Also in my email, and I got a lot of heat for it.
Look,
But
it's not his fault. It's my fault.
doesn't matter. It's my show. I got to get you in line, cage you up.
Good luck.
Please
I
don't.
just woke up.
Is there a way to? I'm already getting the podcast off the rails here.
I'm ready.
Is there a way to make your own randomized playlist on YouTube and blur the screen so that you could just email these people this link and they can click, not see what's playing, and have a random thing, and then they can guess all they want.
I'm sure. Oh, they can guess all they want. No,
I'm just
that's
saying
not
at home personally themselves, so that they can stop bothering.
Now you
you.
gotta. Number one, the thoughts of Doom Michaels are his alone. I don't mind being bothered. It's whatever. Like, I love the music section. I get it. Number two, think of it this way: with a game show, like watching. This is a bad example. How about a board game? You don't want to play a board game by yourself. Like, you're not going to rattle through Trivial Pursuit questions at home alone. You're the only one to be like, answer. This is fun.
For me, is watching you answer the questions is why I like the music session.
And there you go. There you go. I'm sure that's part of it for people. Another part is they just want to play along as it's happening and feel like they're part of something. So I get it. I totally get it. I'm not mad at people at all. In the least.
I'm not mad at people either. I don't want people to think I'm mad. I just think, you deserve a little bit more respect. It's just like, I don't know if they're joking. Is it /S? Like, put /S if you're joking, because some of them are pretty mean.
I mean, I would always lean towards people joking. There's been a couple where it's very obvious that they are very angry, but everybody has bad weeks. All week you're waiting and you're like, I know I have things where I'm like, this week sucks. But at least I got this to look forward to. And then if that thing doesn't happen, I don't get mad and yell at the person. But I do feel like, oh, God, this was the one thing keeping me going. So some people out there, the music section is what does it for them. And I understand the disappointment. So it's all Mom Brain's fault. Mom Brain, tell us about the Pokemon, please.
Sure thing. But first.
Oh, no.
It is the Radical Defect / Master Higgins birthday weekend.
Oh, my God, it's happening. The biggest weekend of them all. Let him have it, Josh.
And it's Tom Waits' birthday today, too. 76, I believe.
Oh, you have my phone. Beautiful, Josh, as always.
Happy birthday, y'all.
Okay. Pokemon number 953, Rellor. This Pokemon creates a mud ball. It's like that lady with the grandma who sees the dung beetle video. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh, yeah, it's great. A mud ball by mixing sand and dirt with psychic energy. Of course. It treasures its mud ball more than its own life.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
That's so great.
What's your most valued possession? Probably my mud ball.
My mud ball, definitely.
My mud lump.
Oh, he's here already, and he looks so handsome. Look at the Ninja
Oh.
Turtle shirt.
Heyo.
You can move it. You know,
Dun dun
that's
dun
Kirby.
dun 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 dun
Nicky and a half shell. Nice shirt.
Yeah, that'll do. That'll do.
Man, looking good.
Wow.
Oh, baby.
What a-
And he comes
Oh,
bearing.
Ninny
Ninny
Scrubbins.
Scrubbins. He brought Dr. Squatch Ninny Scrubbins soap.
Marshmallow root extract.
You know,
Ooh, that's good for your skin.
Go Nintendo podcast.
finish this Pokemon and then let's.
Light grit RMC, just so you know.
Thank you. So it only hurt a little bit
So
if
they'll
it gets in my
just-
dick hole.
Exactly. They're not even an inch tall.
Smells great.
They're 2 pounds. They're male and female. And the category, of course, is rolling. Abilities include compound eyes, where the Pokemon's compound
Oh.
eyes boost its accuracy. And this, I'm sorry to report, is the end of the Pokemon
It's
section.
very holiday-esque. Like
Yeah.
it just reminds me
It's
of
nice.
my parents' house back in the day.
Ooh, that's nice.
I
like
would act. That's not true because like the Spider-Man and
I
the
want to put
superhero
that
ones,
in like a wax warmer and let it smell.
like they smell good enough to actually use as a soap. This I would also use like to clean my body for.
I
real.
wonder how that would work in a wax. Like, it's not really. It'll melt, right? It'll like melt down, or maybe like
More so than
boil
wax,
it in
probably.
water.
Modified oils,
Eh?
naturally derived fragrance, shea
Fragrance.
butter, marshmallow root extract, pumice, mica, chromium oxide
Pumice.
green, kaolin clay, and sea salt. I don't think there's anything in
I
there that would
thought it
cause any
was-
real problem.
From Elf, of course.
Yes.
Cotton-headed Ninny Muggins.
Thank you, Nikki Hill.
Yeah,
Happy
thank
holidays. Merry
you.
Christmas, Nikki Hill.
Happy holidays.
Ma Brain is here, as we've
Mhm.
established. Nikki Hill is here,
Hey,
as we've established. Dew is here, as you've gathered.
Ooh.
Josh Robot is here, as we also
Hell
know.
yeah.
Hell yeah. And George is here. George, how are you?
Fun George? No.
Have a good week this week, George?
Yes. I've been picking limes and marshmallow root extract as well.
Oh, that sounds
For
like
soap.
I was gonna say delicious combo, but
Is
sure.
that what you do for like holiday gifts, George?
No, never did it before. Never even heard of marshmallow root before until about 5 seconds ago.
Never give gifts. Not a gift giver.
Really?
Nope.
Why not?
Too poor.
You sound awful sour.
Too poor. I don't appreciate.
everybody
lime
wants
puns.
money. No one wants
Can't
limes.
part with the lime,
Jeez,
yeah.
George.
The limes are mine. It's like that dirt ball. I treasure my limes. There's psychic energy in them.
Oh, okay.
You
You know, I met Krampus this week.
You talking to me or talking to George?
Everybody.
Did you really?
I did.
Did you?
I was just thinking about that on the way
You
here.
have to wait in a line.
No, I didn't have to wait in the line.
Like Krampus was like, we knew nothing about Krampus like less than 10 years ago, and now it's everywhere, right?
I did.
You know what's really funny? I had, no joke, this exact conversation with
Oh.
my father this week because he has like
Oh, he probably gave you the history of Krampus.
No. He's like
One
he
time,
acted like it was
Krampus
a brand new thing.
Bowled a 300. It's a weird story for him to know, but
Radical defect. I didn't have plans to. I'll tell a story, but about plans and movies. But I will add that to my list. Thank you.
do you know about the Yule Cat though?
No.
I don't know that I do.
I think there was like
What
a
about
movie.
Yul
I don't know if it
Brynner?
was short or something. The Yule Cat. I can't remember the Scandinavian name. There's a lot of umlauts.
Mm.
Eats the bad children.
Perfect.
So it's kind of
Is that
like
what
Krampus,
does? Yeah.
but
He
Kidnaps the
doesn't
bad
eat them.
children.
He doesn't
Turns
eat
them
them.
into something?
He eats them or he kidnaps them. Baba Yaga eats the kids.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Also,
the
They working together?
guy from John Wick. Yes.
I don't know if
She's like the Mrs. Claus of the
I don't-
evil Santa world.
I think she's just her own thing. I don't think she's a Christmas thing.
She's a witch.
Christmas.
so she's a witch, right?
What about
Yeah.
What about rare exports? Is that Krampus or was that a troll or something?
Spoiler alert.
I don't
think we're
know.
good.
Is
I
that
don't think
that's
she
an old movie, right?
It's pretty old. I do want to watch it again, but it is what, Danish or something? It's there's
I don't know.
there's a
I guess the subtitles.
Krampus in there. Yeah.
Crap.
Hello, Sneaker Hacks and Drake and Radical
There's
Defect and Freddy Fro and
You know what,
Giant Reggie and Tentavision and
You know, we're on the
Malakalo.
third generation of Krampus.
William.
2 generations ago, it was
Alternate list.
Grampus. Well, now they call him Grampus because he's Gramps. Krampus. No, come on now.
Hey, you
And
got
then
the rim
what's
shot over
what is
here.
it? Papas is the
Yeah, Papa's John.
Papa's Smurf. Papa's Murph. Man, there was something. There's a whole bunch of.
you were
things I was
talking
gonna
about
say.
your dad and Krampus.
Oh yeah, just had the same exact conversation. Didn't know what it was. Thought it was new, like this year. Never heard of it before. And I was like, no.
Well, that's not the same conversation we had.
Well, you were like, in the last 10
That's not the
years.
same conversation at all.
You said in the last 10 years he's really taken off. And my dad was like, basically, this Krampus is really taken off this year. So you have 10 years on my dad, but both the same idea of Krampus is really taken off.
Okay.
So you're still not as bad as my dad, but
I mean,
One day.
I blame the internet, right? Because the internet shows us now the Krampus parades and stuff like that, and like the festivals that are centered, like that have existed in these other cultures, and now we get to see all these other things. So
Is that why we know Krampus now?
the internet? Sure.
I guess.
that and Adam Scott.
Oh, don't say that around RMC. Good thing he left the room.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, RMC, get back here. I have a question. Who's uglier, Adam Scott or Krampus?
Adam Scott, without a doubt. By the way, very quickly at the beginning of the show,
I don't want to say ugly. Who's weirder looking?
Crazy Colonel is not around this weekend. He's traveling. I won't say where. Roth, hello. So if you feel like doing a doodle,
The North Pole, perhaps?
if you feel like doing a doodle for this week's podcast, drop it in a Discord or send it to me via email at rawmeatcowboy@gmail.com and we will feature it. This time I will put all of them in the post. Please do not be offended if yours does not make the actual thumbnail. I will do if there's a whole bunch of them, I will do a randomly selected one, but we will need your artwork if you feel like contributing. So there you go. Got that out of the way. So much to talk about. The last week or the last couple of weeks have been like news is slow, not a lot going on. There's a lot of news this week. There's a lot of other things I want to talk about. So we got plenty of stuff. Before we do all of that, does anyone else have anything they would like to talk about? Anything on your mind? Anything you've been looking to share?
Thank you for asking, but I am okay.
No.
Sure.
Okay.
My
All right,
shirt.
nothing?
My shirt is. Did either of you have these sheets when you were younger?
My Backseat Studios. No, as I said to you, I had the He-Man
Mm-mm.
sheets. Very similar, but
And you
He-Man.
had He-Man curtains. Those were cool.
Yes, I had He-Man curtains as well. Those are. I think one curtain is here somewhere. I think it's in one of the bins downstairs.
I'd
Somewhere.
hang it in your office if I could find it.
That would be great. That would be great. Ross, is that true? Is it Cotton Candy Day? All right. Yeah. Okay. Things I want to talk about before we get into Patreon topics, before we get into other stuff. Number one, I played games this week, which I'll talk about later, but I didn't really get a ton of time to play because we had a very busy week, not by choice.
Good Lord.
In the beginning of the week, I was laying down to go to sleep. For those who don't know, I sleep in the living room because I don't know. My family loves sleeping on couches. My sister loves it. My mom loves it. That's what we do. So I was laying down to go to sleep, and I closed my eyes, and I hear like. I was like, "What the hell is that?"
Oh, Mom Brain was hiding your
Scurrying around,
presents.
hiding presents. And I sat there and like nothing happened. And I sat a little more and then I heard again. And I was like, what the hell is that? And I like banged on the ceiling because I'm like, is something loose? Is there a critter up there?
How did you bang on the ceiling? You stood on the sofa?
I stood on the
reaching
couch and
broom?
banged on the ceiling.
Oh.
And it just kept going. And I was like, so I recorded a video just so I could get the noise to show Mom Brain.
You didn't wake her up immediately?
I did not.
Freaking out?
At last time I learned my lesson. I was like, this thing could tear the house apart. I am not waking her up. So I went on Reddit to see if other people were like, I tried to describe the noise and did Reddit searches, and I found other people who had similar things Some of them said they were creatures. Some of them said it was how some addicts have those fans, like, just the fans that circulate air around, and it, like, something happens with the fans. And so I was listening to noises because some people on Reddit had uploaded the sound they had, and there were some that were similar. Played it for Mom Brain. We were like, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Also, last week, one day, doesn't matter. Piper was upstairs and was like sitting by our bathroom upstairs and staring at one of the cabinets. And we're like, what are you doing, weirdo? So we put 2 and 2 together and we're like, it's probably a creature.
Yeah.
So did some research online, called somebody here. They came out. Or we were like, let's see how expensive this is going to be. And it's like, if it's a mouse or a squirrel, it'll be like $250 to $350 to get rid of it, whatever. So the guy
Can we just talk about that?
What?
Like, you want to do the right thing, you want to be humane, you want to remove these critters in a safe way, and then the companies are like, that's $750,000, and you're like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, and it was also hard to find a company that did humane trappings rather than just kill. So the guy came out. He's like, what have you been hearing? I played him the video, and he's like, that sounds like a raccoon. I was like, I think it's just a video that's making it sound like a raccoon. I said, when I heard it, it sounded more like a squirrel. I said, it sounded bigger than a mouse to me, but you're the professional. So he went upstairs, and he went into the crawl spaces, and he opened up the door to the second crawl space and like looked around for 2 seconds.
And it jumped out and latched onto his
That's what I was
face.
thinking, because I'm up there with him, and he's just like, yeah, let's see what we got going on. He just swings the door open. I'm waiting for like flying out at his face, like Christmas Vacation, where the thing comes jumping out of the tree. But he stuck his head in there for like 20 seconds and closed the door. And I'll let Mom Brain tell the next part because it's her favorite.
You have to do it.
The guy closed the door, and he looked at me, and he was very sad, clear, and he's like, I'm really sorry, but I found flying squirrel droppings in here.
Droppings.
The fact that he said droppings was what Mom Brain loves it. I don't know why, but
My mom too. My
That's
mom
what
was
it is.
hysterical.
What are you, scat?
Turds, poop,
leavings.
just leaving. Just that it was droppings. Is so technical.
Turds.
My favorite part about it is
He's a pro.
that raw meat.
That's what I said. It's exactly what I said to Mom Brain. I was like, he's a pro. They're droppings. Hi, Nico Darunia.
Me at work to tell me
Hi,
that,
Tromo.
that the guy found flying squirrel droppings.
Well, I said it to you because I knew you thought it was you would find it funny.
And technical. I was like, guys,
Bad
we
news.
got to the bottom of
Bad
it.
news, Mom Brain. Droppings all over.
How can you tell the difference between squirrel and flying
Like,
squirrel?
I think
like-
flying squirrel, it's like
like-
that blue water situation, like what comes out of a plane. Or
Maybe.
blue ice.
That-
What do they
yeah,
call it? Blue
that's
ice?
gotta be it. So the guy was like,
flying,
I'm
it
really
only makes
sorry.
sense.
It's flying
I get
squirrel
it.
droppings. And he said flying squirrels are like,
or the droppings have little parachutes, probably.
he
Maybe
said
that's what it
flying
is.
squirrels are like pretty nasty. And he's like, they love to
They like to
really
droppings all over the place.
chew wires and like go crazy. And he's like, I can see like the insulation has been like moved around a lot. So this sucker is like going. He's like, I don't know how many are here, blah, 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 blah. He's like, I'm really sorry. They're more expensive to get rid of. And he said to me, he was like, do you think he could live with it? Because he's like, it's more expensive. He's like, I can't guarantee it's going to leave, but maybe it'll leave. He's like,
I mean, he's already working on an addition up here, so like
Right?
he'll
Once
be
he's
done.
done, he'll
He'll be
settle
done with
in.
his apartment in like maybe a week, and then
Yeah.
he'll quiet down.
So he's like, if we're just going to get rid of it, like catch it and take it somewhere else, it's $800. And if we catch it and we patch every hole that we find on the roof, it'll be $1,300. And I was like, can I talk to my fiance? He's like, yeah, of course, whatever. He's like, I'm really sorry. I know you're expecting something different. So I went online, I researched. The price he quoted was right in the ballpark of what everybody was saying. So not like other companies, other people on Reddit were like, yep, this much. So I was like, he's
I
legit.
don't know. I think 20 seconds is long enough for him to put a flying squirrel up there.
He threw droppings out of his pocket.
There were his own
right.
droppings.
So I talked
He
to
came
Mom
up, he
Brain.
had insulation in his mouth, and he
like that hamster, he was like pushing it out.
And we're like, we just paid for our yearly vacation, which is a lot of money. We have Christmas stuff, which is a lot of money. We just paid quarterly taxes, which is a lot of money.
I saw those.
I'm like, now
those
we
new panel lights. Those are a lot of money.
got that's huge money. They've been sitting here for a while. So we were
We're
like,
also
it's so much
Given
money.
to us.
but what are we gonna do? So Mom Brain's like,
And for me, like, you know, I don't have what I need to like fix where it's getting in, right?
Right.
Like I'm handy enough.
we don't,
but like,
we also don't know exactly where it's.
Well,
you
yeah.
know.
Have you ever seen any light up there? Like,
Mm.
have you looked around and seen like
Well,
where's it
okay.
getting in?
I'll get to all that. So, we're okay. We got credit cards. I just paid off a credit card, and I'm like, we could put it on a credit card again, whatever. I was like, maybe they'll do a payment plan. You know, lots of places do. So I talked to Mom Brain, and she talked to the company, and the guy's like, yeah, we can do a payment plan. You pay half when we come and half when we get it. And we were like, oh, so like
thank you.
literally one payment one day and
Are
one
you gonna
payment
work on
the
this?
next day.
You're gonna work on this over the next 4
Woo,
months,
thanks
pal?
for that
Yeah.
12 hours. We appreciate it. So we're like, whatever. So we obviously the guy came, and it was a completely different guy. Another really nice guy. He was wearing a Rick and Morty hat, and I was like, you're either a really nice guy or you're a really weird guy, but he was a nice guy. So he's like, I'm going to go around outside and try and find where this thing's getting in. We're going to do a trap, like a humane trap, whatever, blah, 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 blah.
I spent an hour out here. It looks like he's getting in through the front door, maybe the back
The
door.
guy was
Right.
legit out there for over an hour, and I saw him walking around the house because he's walking around looking for where these things could get in, and then he didn't jump, he climbed up on the
He
roof.
flew.
He flew on the
He
roof.
flew. He turned into a squirrel.
He's looking around on the roof. He was out there for over an hour. So eventually I hear him doing, then I heard like a drill and whatever. So he eventually comes back in and he goes, I looked all over, and he's like, I could not find anywhere this thing got in your house. Everything was perfectly fine. And then
So I had to make a hole for me to patch up.
and he's like, I got to the one corner, and I was like, maybe. And he got up there and he looked, and he's like, kind of. And then he said, then I saw like scratch marks and like a claw mark in this one corner. He's like, this has to be it. There's nowhere else. So he's like, I put the thing in there and blah, 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 blah. He's like, you should be good. Let me know if you hear any noises. Otherwise, it's gone. He's like, it's either out and it can't get back in, or it will be in the humane trap, and that's that. So
But it's not really it's not a trap. It's a
it-
one way.
he can get the
Two.
squirrel
To have
could
a
get
heart
out,
thing,
but
right?
can't get back
out,
in.
But it can't get back in.
So if it was already in there, it can get out, but can't come back. If it was outside, it can't get back in, which is great. Because he said tube trap. We specifically wanted humane traps. We looked online after he left, and the tube trap that came up was like, the arm closes and crushes the squirrel, and we're like, no, what did this guy do?
Like, what do we do? We just spent $1,300.
Yeah.
Well, we spent,
600.
half of that.
650, and we were like, it's already up there, but we were looking at the wrong thing. So I haven't heard anything since. It seems to be taken care of. But that was 4 days of me having trouble sleeping because the thing's running around, and also getting up early because the guy was coming to do this stuff. So I've been so out of whack. I slept extra late today because now we haven't heard the things since they've been here. So it's got to be gone and taken care of, which is
that's good.
great. But just I lost so much sleep. I was like, I better go to bed early every night because this guy's coming, and then like the thing's running around up there. Blah, 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 blah.
And I said to Raw Meat, it's a good thing it's just a flying squirrel and not his moose friend, Bullwinkle.
Got it.
Rocky and
I
Bullwinkle?
forgot to say that. The first guy that came, I was like, I'm so sorry.
Oh, he
It's
said
a
it too?
flying squirrel. No, he started telling me everything they take care of. And he's like, we do rats and mice and squirrels and flying squirrels and bats. Blah, blah, blah. He's going through all these things, and he ended on deer. I wanted to be like, I don't think it's a deer in the attic.
Right.
but-
So he calls me, Rummy calls me like the next day, and he's like, terrible news, there's a deer in the attic.
not
we
yet.
found deer droppings in the
But
attic.
we went from the little mouse to a flying squirrel, so maybe deer will be next. But
Maybe
yes,
in,
so I didn't get to play as much as I wanted this week.
Maybe in 18 days you'll have a deer problem up there.
Oh, he's
Rein it in.
So I didn't get to play as much as I wanted, which is sad. But
We'll be all week.
we'll be all week.
We'll
here.
be all week.
So there's that. Something else I want to talk about.
You won't be here all week, but we will be here all week.
I randomly on TikTok get people playing The Sims, the original version of The Sims. And we have some friends who are really big into The Sims, or were really big into The Sims. And some of the videos are pretty funny. So I send it to them and whatever. And I used to play The Sims Online back in the day, which was, I would say, mostly a maligned entry by critics, but I loved it. Like, I really loved that game. And there are obviously people who are very fond of it as well. Something
So which one?
The Sims Online. So this
Yes.
is a long time ago, and it was basically just like
I remember.
the regular version of The Sims, but with real people. And I played it a lot. Like you had to pay a subscription fee to play that back in the day and everything. It was like ahead of its time in a bad way. But anyway, a YouTube video came up about somebody doing like a challenge in The Sims where they start with $0 and they try and make a living. And it was a really fun video to watch. And I was like, I wish I could still play The Sims Online. That would be a lot of fun. And I was looking around. I was like, these fan projects come up all the time where they revive an old game and let people keep playing it. So I did a quick search on Reddit, and there was something that came up for these people that got together to basically redo The Sims Online and keep it going and run it on their own servers. And I was like, this is awesome. I was like, I can actually go back in and play The Sims Online. So I went to the official website and like, let me download this. I want to give it a try. Well, I just happened to find it the week they were shutting it down. And it's been going since a year after the original ended.
No way.
And I was like,
How
service
awful.
ends tomorrow for this game. And I was like, are you kidding me? I find out about it the week it's going to end.
It's okay.
And they had like
That's
the whole
the
list of
universe
in-game
telling-
events that were going to happen. And I was like, yeah, this sucks,
That's
man.
the universe telling you to be a little more lenient on emulators and emulation.
Well,
and
you
all that.
can't emulate an online game. Like the whole thing is online.
Yeah,
I mean, I
the
got no
universe
problem.
has spoken.
I don't have
What
any
about
problem
Second
with
Life? Go
emulators.
back to Second Life.
Second Life isn't the same. It's not. I mean, it's
There's
as
no
close
other
as I'm gonna
Sims
get.
game that you could enjoy. I mean, they couldn't have. What's the one that came out?
Not with the
after that?
online aspect. Like that's what I wanted to relive.
I remember the
That
online
is what I had
being,
so much
you
fun
know,
with.
Having your sim interact with a sim by somebody like a real person. in there?
Like you are interacting with a real person.
It was like a
playing at the
chat
same
room.
time.
It was
Yeah,
like a
basically
chat room
a
that
chat
you-
room.
You
Okay.
could interact with, and how about that?
You would go like I used to go to like giant like chess tournament houses or art houses to raise stats on your Sims, but then you'd like talk to people and see like where they got their stuff and what you could do to better your place, and they could come over to your house and whatever, woohoo each other. It was a ton of fun. I really, really liked it. I have extremely fond memories of that. There was one great conversation where
I learned a lot playing that game. A lot about
Life.
and making it.
through woohooing.
Yeah. Making new life.
Oh,
There was one
I get it.
woman that I played with from like the beginning to like 6 months into it. I just randomly found her and we were just playing the game. Like that's all there was to it. And I'll never.
Sure. Are you
Yes,
sure about that?
I'll never forget. Yes, I am sure because I'll never forget one day we were going to meet up at the chess house and we met at the chess house and we were just BSing about whatever. And she was like, I got something to tell you. I really hope it doesn't make you upset. And I was like, what is it? And they were like, it's easier to get things in this game if you pretend you're a girl. I am a guy. And I was like, okay. Then my boner went down and
your
I
very
logged off.
first catfish.
Yeah, that's right. So I was like, whatever. But
So you built a wall around their character and they peed themselves to
I
death.
was like, hop in my pool and have a swim. And then I took the ladder out and left them there. No,
Could you do that to somebody? on
You
the-
could do
on the
that in
online?
regular Sims. I don't believe you could do that in Sims Online. No, you couldn't trap actual players from what I remember. I remember like the social interactions.
Because the game wouldn't
more.
exist. Everybody would just be trapped in pools
Yeah,
if you could do it in
right.
the online one.
Yeah, I definitely remember the social interactions more than like the minute-to-minute gameplay. But I just remember you'd open up like the big map and go to the neighborhood houses and whatever. No Blades, No Bows says, happy Saturday, all. Just joined and RMC is talking about its boner. Well, you joined at the perfect time.
It
So-
wouldn't have mattered if you joined at the beginning of the show. He was
Sure.
talking about it then as well.
It's been 27 minutes of that. So yeah, just sad that I
Won't have a boner anymore.
got
and-
the itch to be like, let's see if anybody
My
revived The
itchy
Sims
boner.
Online, and they did, and now it's ending. So now I'll just wait for it to be revived again, and then I'll find out about that when it's closing.
Well, that's rotten timing. I'm sorry to hear
Mhm,
that, RMC.
I'll have to look into if there's anything else out there that gives something similar. Like Nicky Hill said, there is Second Life, which I did play for a bit and did have fun with, but it wasn't quite the same. So. One other thing before I get to Patreon topics, a big shout out to Pest magazine. I don't know how many of you have heard of Pest. Pest has been around for a while. They're like, an entertainment magazine. Movies, music, games, TV, all that stuff. They just cover entertainment in general. This week, Paste magazine put out their top 40 games of 2024. It was done by their game team. And I'll tell you this much. I don't know who's on their game team because when you go to their website, it says the article was written by the Paste team. So it doesn't list individual people. But those people know their games because their top 40 list is absolutely fantastic. Top to bottom. Great choices throughout the whole thing. Number one game of the year?
1,000 Times Resist.
No. UFO 50.
Oh.
Which I could see easily. Number two game, 1,000 Times Resist. So I was like,
Wow.
these people are on their list was really great. And
They do exist.
Well, here's the thing. We've seen the official 1,000 Times Resist. Let me do this. Paste magazine top 40 games. The official 1,000 Times Resist account has been recognizing outlets that are naming their games for any game of the year, end of the year, any kind of anything. And there are a good amount of outlets that are including the game in their roundup. So it just shows you the failings of the outlets that are involved with the Game Awards. So yeah, let's I'll just do the top 10 on Paste. You can go read the whole thing. I don't want to steal all their thunder, but it was a great list. Really impressed with it. It was full of games I know are great games. I've heard are great games. I've personally played and agree with, and games that are on my list that I want to play. Number 10, Llama Soft, the Jeff Minter story. I've heard amazing things about that collection. I have not played it myself. Animal Well was number 9. Totally understand that being there. Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, number 8. Totally agree. Arctic Eggs, which is a game I've heard about and heard really cool stuff about, but have not played it yet. Ultros, another one that I was like really pumped for. It's on my list to play, but I haven't played it yet. Thank Goodness You're Here, which is available on Switch. It's the
That looks like so much
puzzle
fun.
platformer comedy game, which looks incredible. It's got like a who's who of, I'm going to say mostly British comedians, and it looks fantastic. It looks fantastic. Number 4.
It has a little bit of an Untitled Goose Game feel with the
definitely.
like silly,
Okay.
like naughty kind of humor.
Yeah. Number 4 is Metaphor Refantasio. Well earned. Like I said, I haven't finished it, or I haven't even started. I'm playing the demo though. Number 3, Balatro. Totally understand that. And then, as I said, number 2, 1,000 Times Resist. Number 1, UFO 50.
Wow.
But really, go read their list. I started following them on X and tweeted them, or whatever, posted at them to be like, you guys did an awesome job with this list, and I congratulated 1,000 Times Resist official account on being part of this, and we had a little chat. It was great. So
Nice.
this whole week, there have been a good amount of outlets, and it's not like, Joe Schmo's whatever list of things you never heard of. Like, there's a lot of outlets you have definitely heard of who have put.
Wait, Joe Schmo doesn't like 1,000 Times Resist?
He hasn't put out his list yet.
Okay.
No
all
list yet. That have put 1,000 Times Resist on their list or given it an accolade or something like that. So, I'm not trying to crap all over the people that are involved with the Game Awards, but when you read these lists that this game is on, you see that you're getting people that are like really paying attention to what's going on in gaming as a whole, because it's a mix of blockbusters, big names, and indies, and things you may never have heard of.
Have any of them played the downloadable content for E-Ring Elden R?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they have no idea. They're so they're so
We don't know 11 through 20.
Close-minded.
Maybe it made the back half.
They're
of
so
Paste.
focused on indie games that they don't broaden their scope.
I don't think
But I've seen everything.
Wukong wasn't on there either for some reason. I don't know.
I don't think. Let me see. Elden. No Elden Ring. I think Wukong was on there.
What about
No, I'm wrong. Wukong
Echoes
was
of Wisdom?
Echoes of Wisdom was on their list.
Okay, in the top 40.
Yes. Another list had, I forget what it was, but they had Echoes of Wisdom at number 11 out of like it was like the top 50 of the year, and I'm totally fine. I don't think that game should be Game of the Year, but I think it should be mentioned in, like, if you're doing a top 50 list, without a doubt.
Well, that should be
Echoes
of Wisdom is an indie game, right? Because it's like self-made and published by Nintendo, so it's like independently.
No, it's made by Nintendo and Grezzo. Their partner Grezzo.
Will Grezzo
from Star Wars.
What name did I hear I was like, this sounds like a Star Wars name. Don't even remember what it
Salacious
was related to. I told Mom Brain on Paste list is Big Kitty Little City. Or no, Little Kitty Big City. I'm sorry. Echoes of Wisdom is on Paste Top 40. It's number 22. Another list had it at number 11.
No.
Their list is so good. Their list is fantastic.
The Lost Prophecy on there? Prince of Persia?
Let me
was
see.
just
It was
here.
on multiple lists. Which I was like, yeah, it deserves to be on there. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, number 13. Yep. There you go.
Thank you for telling me the real name.
Astro
What'd you call
Bot.
it?
The Lost Prophecy. I mean, it sounds like
Yeah.
something. I
Lost
would've-
Crown is the name. Lost Prophecy certainly sounds like a game name, but not this game. So yeah, go check out Pace, but also go check out the 1000 Times Resist social media accounts, and you can see all the outlets that have been naming their game in their top whatever lists or their Game of the Year awards or all that. Good for them.
Very cool.
Good for them. That done. All right, let's do Patreon topics. Mom Brain, did you know that you could join the GoNintendo Patreon
For $1.
For $1. What? It's allowed. It's
Wow.
It's good on there. For $1. Yes, thank you to the recent joinees. There's been an uptick in joiners. I don't know where they're coming from. Patrons, they call them. I don't know where you're coming from or how you found it, but thank you for joining up. What did I talk about this week? I talked about war games, for which Deux was here and Mom Brain was here and I was here, obviously, because we watched war games and had a great time. WWE war games, but we had people over who don't usually watch, and I thought we had a really fun time. It was more about the experience of the night with WWE, its background, than it was war games in particular, but I thought it was a fun time.
And I'm finally doing my Michaels thing of hating somebody for so long and then finally coming around on them. And Roman Reigns is finally starting to get a Michaels come around. So
Oh,
Is he still the champ?
no, he's not.
He held that for a long time, right?
He had it for 2.5 years, roughly. Yes.
Wow.
I mean, he beat cancer and I still hated
He
him.
beat cancer. Yes, it's true.
I don't-
So
For the
it's
belt.
been a long time since I've watched.
I don't know what it was about war games. I think it was just like the rest of his family like coming after him that I like. I don't know.
All
I
it
felt
took was
for
an
him.
entire side of the family coming at him. Yeah, Bronson Reed, as we said, broke his ankle. They showed. Were you
Bronson Reed.
Big Bronson Reed? Did you see that on Raw? I don't think you did. Oh no, because they showed it on SmackDown. They had him jumping off the cage on SmackDown, but they zoomed in on his foot and slowed it down,
Oh,
and you see him land, and his foot just goes completely sideways, and it's like, so 3 people got injured.
Gross.
One broke their ankle. One broke. Jimmy Uso broke a toe, and they were like,
jeez.
not a big deal, but still broke a
Yeah.
toe. And then somebody else, what happened? Something to a rib or something. And they had like the X-rays, and people got hurt. Not surprising.
Oh,
But anyway,
yeah.
I wrote about that. I also wrote about Animal Crossing Pocket Camp Complete, because that's available. And I talked to you guys to see if you played Pocket Camp and if you're transitioning to Pocket Camp Complete, and if you think it's worth it for someone who has never played Pocket Camp at all. And there's a lot of pretty dedicated players in there. So I had some really interesting conversations with you guys.
I was way off last week when I was talking about that. I didn't realize this was so stupid of me. I didn't realize we were talking about like an app, kind of like an online thing. So yeah, of course, I think it's great. If they weren't going to have access to it at all, I thought it was. I totally misunderstood. So congratulations, Pocket Camp players.
The game lives on.
Yeah, the game can live on.
Yes, it's a mobile app. So I talked about that, and I am going to give it a try because I've been convinced that it's a perfect type of pick up and play Animal Crossing game where you don't, you can just hop in for like 10 minutes or so and futz around on your phone. No need to like wander around and take a lot of time with it. So I think that'd be fun. I wrote about a Final Fantasy song I'd never heard of.
Is fun.
Thank you, Reggie. I have never played Final Fantasy X because, famously, as I've said a bunch of times, I was scared of RPGs. I'm no longer scared of them. Final Fantasy X is on my list to play.
Is 10 the one that has a sequel? There's like 10 and then 10 2.
Yep, you are correct.
That's silly, huh?
I mean, it's a game name.
I mean, each one
which
is
are
its own
often
story,
silly,
right?
and it's a Japanese game name, so extra silly usually.
Also, 10-2, where I come from, means
10 to midnight.
pooping.
What? Really?
Wait, 10-1. I don't know if 10-2 is actually real, but 10-1 we usually say if we have to pee or go to the bathroom.
What's the 10 for?
So then some people say 10-2 when they gotta go poop.
I guess because you don't want to make it too obvious, because saying I got to go number 1, and people be like,
Yeah.
"That's
Well, it's
Yeah,
like
but oddly
it's,
enough, he says I got a 10-2 in the toilet, so people can.
anyone got any
well,
toilet
sometimes
paper? I got a
it's
10-2."
behind this bush. Nobody back here.
That's it.
Don't come looking for me.
It's like walkie speak. So I don't know if it's actually
A
based in.
walkie-talkie.
Mm.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about like with your dog. What,
Oh,
walkies 10-2?
That would, yeah. No wonder you thought that was real strange. I mean, I thought
Yeah.
it was walkie speak, but I'm not
I
used
did
to
not.
it. So
yeah, I did not. Anyway, Final Fantasy.
When they say 10-4, good buddy.
you
What
don't
the
want to
hell's
know
going
what
on
that
there?
means.
That means two of you are sitting down together to play.
Hey now.
Final Fantasy X. As I've said before, YouTube automatically puts together randomly generated playlists filled with songs it thinks I'll like and songs I've never heard and whatever. And a song from Final Fantasy X came up that's called "Wandering Flame." Holy crap! It is, in my mind, Anamoya. Is that it?
Yes.
It's that for me. I heard that song and it
Beautiful.
made me want to cry. It made me feel like just like decades ago and long for something that I never experienced. It's a beautiful song. Clearly, other people feel this way because YouTube right after was like, you enjoyed Wandering Flame. Would you like a 10-hour version of Wandering Flame? So other people out there think this song is great. It's an amazing song. So I posted about that to see if other people knew of the song, blah, blah, blah. And people were talking about Final Fantasy X in general and why they like the game, some other great tracks from the game. So I've certainly heard songs from the game, just never heard this one. It's a killer song. So look that up. Wandering Flame.
Wandering Flame.
I wrote this was a fun post. So I don't often write about food on Patreon just because I feel bad, even though everybody's like, do the food posts, they're fun. I decided one day I was going to do it. And I wrote about sad meals.
Oof.
Now, sad meals aren't sad as in they make you sad when you eat them. Sad meals are somebody would look at it and be like, that is a sad meal, but you love it. So like something that you just
Like
throw
cereal with
together.
water.
Yeah, something that you throw together that you actually like. But others would look at and be like, what the hell? What's happening in your life, man? So I wrote about my protein cookie dough, which is, very loosely cookie dough. It's just like, pancake syrup, 1 serving of protein powder, and a little bit of water mixed up in a bowl. And I love it. It's like gruel, but I love it. I seriously crave it. So I was talking to them about that and that idea and what their meals were that were sad meals. And there were some great ones. There was just, someone's like, I could just eat peanut butter and saltines all day, every day. I was like, that's a great one. Like, that's so good.
Do you ever get those TikToks that are like, if you don't know what this meal is, you don't have to worry about like the tax plan.
Yeah,
It's like the
that's what
cinnamon
people,
sugar toast.
so
It's like,
people in
if
the
this
comments
is a
were
meal
saying-
you've eaten.
They're talking about,
Yeah.
like, money was tight as a kid, and that's where these came from, but people still love them. Somebody was saying, oh, what was it? It was like milk, water, and then like just like little bits of like dough that they had made, like seasoned dough, and it was like some like very cheap soup that their mom used to make, but they like love it and still eat it to this day. And I was like, this sounds
like
really
biscuit dough,
good.
like dumplings.
But they were making it
Yeah.
like themselves.
Drops Brothers. It wasn't like, they weren't like worried about money, but they used to do graham crackers like cracked into pieces in milk instead of like cereal, and it's delicious.
That sounds great.
I did that with
I would
Oreo
eat that.
cookies.
And in my
Oh,
house,
cookies. Yeah, did you see? I'm sorry.
Oh, I saw.
Help yourself.
It's a
They're
huge
open.
box.
we do eggy noodles,
Mhm.
and it's like if you have leftover pasta in the fridge, you do the pasta and you like scramble it with butter and like eggs. So you make like scrambled eggs with your pasta. We always called it eggy noodles.
Is that a breakfast? Is that a breakfast or like another time?
It's dinner.
Okay.
And
Giant Reggie
it's,
said he did the graham cracker thing as well.
it's definitely something that, like, if I was sick and I was like on the mend, my mom would be like, "We'll make you some eggy noodles," and I'd be like, "Yeah, eggy noodles."
Somebody said they did instant ramen and instant mashed potato mix. They'd sprinkle
Instant
a little
mashed
bit
potato
in.
mix is
See,
disgusting.
I like instant
I
mashed
hate it.
potatoes,
I
so
think
I
it's
thought that sounded great, and I was like, "That's a really cheap meal." So that's
How does
that's
that
good.
work?
What do you
Like a
mean?
little
That's
bit of potato?
Yeah,
I
a
guess?
little bit. You're not putting a whole bag in,
Well,
just
a lot
like
of
to thicken
people-
up your broth.
A lot of people do that for like stews and stuff.
Yeah.
They'll just throw potato flakes in to
Yeah.
like thicken it up.
Um,
But I can taste it. and
Somebody
I
said
know.
they absolutely love, and this is one I've been meaning to try, and I've never done it. Just buttered bread with some sort of chip, any like a barbecue potato chip or a sour cream chip, and there's a guy I watch on TikTok called Sandwiches of History who makes sandwiches out of old cookbooks, but he's got a side channel that is called
Recipes in the old cookbooks,
Recipes. Thank you.
not the books themselves.
Yes. Barry in the chips or whatever, but that's what he does. He gets like 2 or 3 bags of
Barry in the
chips every
chips.
week and tries them in sandwich to see how well they sandwich. And then at the end of the week, he takes all 3 of those chips and
A
puts all
Chris
3.
Buddy, says Drake Gamer.
That's
yeah.
right. He puts all 3 into a sandwich to see how they all go together. But yeah, I'm totally down with that. I want to do buttered bread and a chip to see how it is. I think
Let's
that's
give this
great.
buttered bread and a chip a go.
Oh, that's the
Did
man.
did you guys see that the that Hey Buddy guy has a cookbook?
I did not see that. I get him randomly. I don't get him too often. But I
saw it in Target yesterday.
Good for him.
Good for him.
There you go, buddy.
Aw.
So I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, multiple people said your favorite. You just had it last week. You had it. You have it frequently.
Girl dinner?
Well, you were calling it girl dinner, but girl dinner is a whole bunch of different things for you. So name a girl dinner.
I don't know.
Wow.
Can't think of one. Chips and salsa?
Not chips and salsa.
Poverty nachos.
There you go.
Ooh, I do love poverty nachos.
nachos. People, that at least there were 2
Oh, just
or
a plate
3.
of chips with cheese on it,
Yeah.
microwave.
Got it.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got it. Lots
And then
of
you
It's
could
been a
dip
long
them.
time.
Then you could dip them in salsa. Oh God, I love a poverty nacho.
For me, it was always a thing. Like the cheese would melt, and then it would, when it cooled, it would just be one sheet of cheese. So there is no pulling apart or anything. It
Absolutely.
was just like, so what do you? Yeah.
I'm
it's
so
been a long,
hungry
long,
right
long
now. We
time
gotta
since-
move on.
Do you know what I got not that long ago? Delivered Chili's
Hi,
And
welcome
I
to
got-
Chili's.
chips and
Mhm.
salsa.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Man,
Those were
We
really
should go to
good.
Chili. If you're free, we go to Chili's today.
Those were really good.
They're
we had
so
we had
good.
2 bowls of it, and we just kept going.
Oh,
and it was
man.
like, and then it was like,
hammering them.
it was like that camel meme or whatever, where we were just like,
Yeah.
We're like, do you guys want anything else? And Nikki Hill and I looked at each other with like juicy eyes. And I was like, can we have more nachos?
I don't remember who it was, but like your meal came out, and one of you was like, one of you literally said, "Oh no."
They were
So-
so. And at first,
and we were like eating. We're like, they're really thin,
they're like
There's like-
glass. They're like
Yeah.
crunching on glass.
but they're
Oh.
like, just it's all it is like tortilla and
And
salt
also-
fried, and we're just like, oh my god. And he's sitting over there like, I can't do it.
Oh,
I don't
I
know what
don't-
you guys do,
I-
what it is about it, but I
they're
can't
so-
do it.
But yeah, I don't like them. But also, they were
That's
served
funny.
by that very handsome waiter. So that guy is something else.
Apologies.
Somebody else on Patreon said just a sandwich that is bread, a slice of cheese, and mayo. That's their sad sandwich that they
Did I
love.
tell you we have Kewpie mayo in the fridge?
I saw it. I
Ooh.
saw it. Yeah.
I used it
So-
to make my deviled eggs.
Fun post and a lot of interaction on that one. I wrote about Infinity Nicky, not Nicky Hill, Infinity Nicky, which is a new free-to-play game you can get on mobile or PS5. It's been amped up long before release. Came out to excellent reviews. It is a gacha game, but it is also
What
an
does that mean?
lots of like, it's kind of like you know how in your match 3 games where it's like timers and buy these gems to get extra moves and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's what a gacha game is. It has like lots of currencies and timers in it,
Ah.
but you don't have to get any of it. You could still play for free. But this is an open world, explorative, fashion-based RPG.
It's like somebody just
So you
threw
make-
darts.
you-
like,
you
it was
make-
gonna be a.
You make fancier outfits to battle better. It looks really cool, and it's a cozy game too. So it's all over. Like people were really excited about this when it came out. It's available now. I really want to try it, but I have nothing against gacha games, but with a gacha game, usually I'll hit one of two walls. Wall one is
Gotcha.
I get to a point where I have done most of what I can, and I have to wait a really long time because of the gacha elements to be able to continue, and it gets frustrating. Or there's so many gacha elements that I'm literally confused and I don't know how to use some of them, and I'm like, well, I give up. But this one is so well reviewed, and I've been interested in it before. I was like, I think I'm going to give it a try, but I turned to you guys to see what you thought, and I have not read your responses yet, so I will do that tonight. But
I didn't write
it's a
one.
free-to-play game, so I
Drake
mean,
Gamer says it's chill.
It's chill, baby.
yeah, worst comes to worst, it's a free-to-play game, so what does it matter? No, not hi Marsboro, not a Infinity Strash sequel. And then the other thing I wrote about is the new Mobile Suit Gundam anime, which I have not. Oh, it's not out yet. I've never watched a Mobile Suit Gundam anime, anything ever. I've been interested. I know it's huge in Japan. I've just never watched any of them. There's ones on my list, but never got around to it.
Yep.
I was just gonna let it go. I didn't want to throw you under the bus. But they put out a trailer for a brand new one. It was a special announcement, and there are two reasons why it really caught my eye. It is being overseen by the man who did Neon Genesis Evangelion, one of my favorite anythings ever, but it's also being spearheaded, like actually doing it. The guy who did Fooly Cooly. Come on.
Holy
like it's a 1-2 punch for
macaroni.
me. So I saw the trailer. I was like, I love this music. I love the look of it is very different. It's very different from what I expect from Gundam until they get in the mechs. Then the mechs, it looks like Gundam. But outside of that, it's a very like it reminds me of like something you see from like Level 5 or Fooly Cooly to a degree. But I loved everything about it. So I'm pumped. It comes out in Japan in January. We don't know the date here yet, but man, does it look good. Check out that trailer. So I was talking to people on Patreon to see if they're Gundam fans, if they have watched Gundam, and if they are interested in this new thing. And there were Gundam people who were like saying that the look threw them a bit, but they are Gundam fans and they'll check it out, blah, 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 blah. So looks really awesome. And that's that. That's what we wrote about on Patreon this week. Well, that went better than I thought. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but whatever. Let's go to news, Mom Brain.
Of course, of course.
Finally!
I was waiting for. Yes, lots this week in terms of news. I'm going to group together all of the posts that are related to one thing in
Really?
particular, and we'll do it all together.
Is it like, oh, it's a chia pet. Oh, that's awesome. Sorry.
There was, again, this week, lots of
contest.
discussion around the Switch Successor. We had multiple rumored leaks and details, and we'll cover them all right now. First things first, the week started with supposed leaked pictures of the new Joy-Con for the Switch Successor. Now, they could be 3D printed and fake. They could be legit, because we've seen leaks that happen like this before. It came from the Chinese website Bilibili, which has been a leak of things before that were legitimate. The Joy-Con look extremely similar to the Joy-Con we know now, except they have a new button on the back, which is something that we've heard of before. And on top of that, the pictures do confirm the magnetic things that we've heard as well. So,
The C button.
pretty, if it's a fake, it's a pretty damn
But
good
for that
fake.
button, that seems like a weird angle if you're holding it
Well, maybe it's
what's
not
that?
for that.
handheld, you know?
I would imagine it won't really come into play there, but if you're, single player
Right.
Joy-Con, then it will come into play. But who knows? We'll find out together. And then also along with that, a picture.
Is it new? It's a new button, or is it like a
Brand new.
redesign of the old button that's back there?
Well, all the other buttons are there, so it looks like a new button to me. We also got a leak of a case, like a Switch case, like an accessory case. So, I mean, nobody's faking an accessory case. That's legit. But just that the stuff is flying
That's
around
what they
out there.
want you to think.
Donut Muffin says those look like analog triggers to me. GameCube for Nintendo Switch Online confirmed, and that could be another part of it as well because I
That's
know
confirmed.
No.
Oh,
Or maybe your guys will be able to confirm it.
Maybe
Well,
they
if you look
will.
at the back of the
maybe
case,
they will.
we don't see the inside of the case, but the back of the case has a bump there for a alleged trigger button or whatever.
Miyamoto loved those triggers on the GameCube controller, so I don't know. So yeah, those pictures leaked. Then that was followed later in the week by a leak of a supposed screen protector. Now, again, I really don't think somebody's making a fake screen protector. That would be so dumb. And what would be the point of
Or
being
would it
like
be genius because nobody would expect it?
no, because like what are you getting from it? It doesn't prove anything other than like the size of the Switch Successor screen is bigger.
I mean, people
Which is
just
all
about
of
anything.
course it's going to be bigger. So it's just more
That's
you
a
know, it's like-
microphone little thing, isn't it? Though?
it's in that little notch. No, the current Switch has that little notch.
What's that notch?
Oh, that's the first
see.
sensor or something. Oh,
Go get it.
my Switch is downstairs if you want to go get it.
I can't get it. There's a camera in the way.
I can go
You-
get it. You want me to go get it?
Okay, sure. Go.
I
get it.
mean, only
it's
if you
on the
want to.
table to the left of my.
Be
chair.
careful of flying squirrels.
So the screen protector is out there, the supposed screen protector, and it shows that the screen size is considerably bigger than the regular Switch. It looks like you
Yes.
got a
is that what we're looking at? A
not quite
comparison?
an inch. Yes, you're looking at the smaller one is the current Switch. The bigger one is the supposed Switch Successor. So that is a definitely beefier screen.
Well, the OLED is a bigger screen, right?
Yes, but not by a ton, but noticeably.
So
And
bigger,
this would be-
definitely
yes.
smaller than the bigger one of these.
I don't know what that means.
The OLED is smaller than the bigger
Will mine have it?
Yeah.
showing here, right? Let's see what we got here. Yeah, what is that? A little IR sensor thing there? Is that what
it's a
that
little
is?
something. Yeah, I don't know what it
Little
is.
Have they ever
something.
utilized this?
I don't know what it is. Fine, I'll do some research. I got no clue.
So the things in the photo are upside down. We're getting somewhere.
You play the new Switch
work.
upside down.
Because I was looking at that and like if it wasn't upside down, then now the speakers are up top. Which
Again, if you go into this post, you can see the
thank you, Mom Brain.
the accessory case as well. So there's pictures there. Human Fart says, I'd love for the new one to be that large. Can't wait for the reveal. I would imagine it will be larger, yes, because they can do a bigger screen. It won't be an OLED screen right off the bat. It'll be a regular screen, but bigger.
It would be crazy if there were two analog sticks back here. Up here and down here.
Because I don't know how that would work.
You have to.
I would say it wouldn't work.
You need a new brain for that one, but
Yes,
that's
to
what
make
people
sure
thought
you
about
don't-
the N64 analog stick in the middle. A whole third handle. What are we going to do with? How are people going
And we
to play
found out
this?
Nothing. You don't do anything with.
Yeah,
You don't use that.
felt weird to use that.
You either held the controller by its first and third prong or its second and third prong. There was no game that used all prongs. Don't have enough hands for all prongs.
I had to make up my own game for all three prongs. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh. He had a very interesting way of holding that third prong. Let's just say that. And then just last night, Satisfy, which is a well-known accessory manufacturer, I guess they were just like, we don't care anymore. Satisfy put out a reveal of their Zen Grip 2. The Zen Grip is available for the Switch. The Zen Grip 2 is an accessory that is for the quote, it says, get ready for the quote, next gen launch. Well, okay, this is for the Switch Successor. No doubt about it. This is for the Switch Successor. It's 100% confirmed. They're just not saying Switch Successor because they can't, but that's what it's for. Dockable design, advanced floating design, full port accessibility, asymmetric, ergonomic, correct hand placement, securely store up to 2 game cards, scratch resistant with perfect secure fit, built-in vertical stand with room to charge, comfortable non-slip rubberized grip. So I believe it does work with the current Switch as well, but get ready for next gen. It will work with the Switch's successor. Now that obviously means accessory manufacturers know the physical specs of the Switch successor at the very least, because they're making products that will work with it. So that thing coming at the end of the week lends more credence and believability to the things that leaked earlier in the week, because if this accessory manufacturer legitimately has the specs and is putting out a product for you to pre-order, then there's no reason why the other guys don't as well. So there you go. It was, and then on top of that, there was talk of like Foxconn's numbers in their video game division went up by the biggest amount they've gone up since 2017, and we know they're working with Nintendo, and the shipping numbers make it look like Nintendo potentially started manufacturing this thing in September. And we're hearing that in either late January or early February, there will be the official reveal, which is not surprising at all because Nintendo did confirm this fiscal year we will get the reveal of it, and this fiscal year ends in March, so it's got to be January, February, or March.
Does anybody have like an uncle or a parent who works at Nintendo that can maybe get information off their
Our
laptop?
connections back in the day. It doesn't happen anymore. And then on top of all that, we also heard that there will be an event in May to showcase more of the Switch Successor, and then it will be out in June. So who knows, people? But I would say the late January, early February reveal is all but confirmed. We again 100% confirmed. January, February, March. We're going to see the thing in one of those months.
Coming
Without
out.
a doubt, that's from Nintendo themselves. So.
Valentine's Day, and they're gonna say, Sony and Microsoft, eat your hearts out.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do one of their like here's the thing, it's coming out 3 months later. They're gonna give a little more time than that for pre-orders and stuff.
4 months.
I mean, let's say February, March, April, May, June. That's 4 months. Could be. Could be. So yeah, hang in there, people. We've gone through years of rumors, but the last 6 months in particular have been very rumor heavy. But once the new year starts, we're getting there.
Could it be a good sign that Foxconn is shipping the most since 2017? Could that mean that the Switch 2 or whatever the successor is will be easy to get your hands on when it comes out?
There's rumors about that too, because people are tracking components that, from what we can see, are part of the Switch Successor. And it looks like, based on all that stuff, Nintendo is aiming to have, 7 million units in the first push, which is more than 2.5 times the amount of what was available for Switch. So you would hope with that being at the launch, then Nintendo will have enough of a sweet spot in there to continue their manufacturing and, make however many million more based on whatever numbers they're getting from the first wave. So first wave of any system will always be tough to get, but hopefully it won't be that tough. I mean, the Wii U was tough to get right out of the gate. It was Nintendo's best-selling system right out of the gate, and then it just stopped. So
Ooh, that's embarrassing.
yeah. So yes, Nintendo for sure wants to avoid the shortage that they had with the Switch, especially out of the gate. So I would rest easy that Switch's successor on day one should be easier to get than the Switch, but depending on how popular it is, who knows what'll happen. So, because Wii U to Switch was a surprise. The Switch was huge and is huge, so maybe more people are going to rush day one to go get this thing. So, stay tuned to GoNintendo for pre-order information, because we will let you know, but not before I personally text my friends so that they can get a pre-order in. But right after that, you guys will know. So that's all your successor leaks for this week. A big week for that kind of stuff. What's today? Today is the 7th. And if you can hang on till the 12th and you're a Switch Online member, just a standard Switch Online member, we've got something special for you. For the first time since it launched way back in the day, the original NES version of Tetris is coming back. So, to be clear, the original NES version of Tetris has never seen re-release in any way, shape, or form to this day. But that is changing on December 12th. If you're a Switch Online member, you can play the NES version of Tetris.
That's the one with Donkey Kong that Deux was talking about last week, right?
No.
Or that's a new game.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
I remember. This is the original NES version.
Oh, okay.
So. Now, all right, Mom Brain, I'm putting you on a spot just because it'll be fun.
Here we go.
Mom Brain.
Yes.
There are 3 songs in Tetris.
Bong, 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 bong,
Correct.
Ping, 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 ding, 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 ding. That's the same one.
That
Dun,
no, no,
dun,
you're-
dun, 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 dun,
yes,
dun, dun.
yes.
I feel like the third one is like a known.
Third one's tougher. Depends on if you're thinking Game Boy or NES.
I
But
can't think of it.
anybody else?
Oh,
It's something like that, right?
That would be the Game Boy one. Yes, that's.
I only
you're
had
right.
the Game Boy one. Yeah.
Be do 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 dee da dee da dee da dee. Yeah, that's that song. So there, you guys did good. Good for you. So yeah, if you never played it, it is a Tetris. Most Tetris games stand the test of time, but between this NES version and the Game Boy version, those were the ones that made Tetris what it is today.
Man,
They're the
I'm
ones that really broke the franchise out.
I'm surprised it hasn't been released ever since then.
I
That's pretty
was
incredible.
too. I didn't know that. I found it out while I was writing.
And I
this.
feel like you said, the Nintendo and Game Boy versions are why it is what it is, kind of. And
100%.
everyone's played. Like, I never owned the NES version, but I've definitely played it a million times. Like, I've played it a bunch.
I would imagine for a while there would be a licensing nightmare about that. Plus, Nintendo wouldn't want that to go to other systems. So, like, between the licensing and the rights and how they wanted to release it and talking to the Tetris company and all that, lots of things had to be worked out. But here it is. Sticer says, knew this was coming after Tetris Forever didn't include it in its release. Great to finally have on the service. Yes, Tetris Forever is a fantastic collection of Tetris games, but I would imagine there will be some people who are upset because they get the game and they're like, where's the NES and Game Boy versions of Tetris? That's why there's a new version of Tetris in Tetris Forever that mimics those games, at least in terms of visuals, because they know those are the Tetris games people grew up on and mostly learned about Tetris through. So you will have one half of that come this week. Very exciting. It's a classic. You can't, I don't want to say you can't beat, but it's like I said, it stands the test of time. It's still a wonderful Tetris game. You can't hold pieces. You can't do a fast drop, but it's still a great version of Tetris. Switch Online members as well. If you're in Europe, and you have a Switch
is that a
Online
joke?
account,
Oh.
until the 12th. So right now until the 12th, Switch Online members in Europe can play Wargroove 2 at no additional cost. This is the full game. So that's your latest free game trial in Europe. No accompanying game here in America or in Japan. Just our European friends this time. Why? No clue. But go out there and enjoy it, Europe. You deserve it. Sticer says Lube is rolling around in his grave at this very moment at the title of this post. Free? Yes, I call it free because that's what Nintendo calls it. They do game trials. Try for free. That's what it says. So I write it as Nintendo says it. But if you read Nintendo's press releases, in the press release, they have changed to saying at no additional cost. So the Lube movement is far and wide.
The Lube-ment.
The lube movement is slick and
That's
slippery.
Right. Okay. Oh, I skipped this really quick, and I didn't mean to. I apologize. Fortnite, big week for Fortnite. The OG mode is back in Fortnite, so that is literally season 1, chapter 1, the guns from day 1, the mechanics from day 1, the map from day 1. It is now a permanent mode in the game. So if you like OG Fortnite, you can go in there and play it right now.
Congratulations.
Within the first 20 minutes of that launching, 1 million players went in there to play it. So there are people who want OG Fortnite. But the bigger news is Fortnite Remix, the finale, which happened last week. And without looking, can you tell me any of the musical artists that were part of the Fortnite Remix finale? You know one of them for sure.
I'm going to guess Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg, yes.
To keep going?
Sure, if you want to.
Ice Spice.
That is correct.
Did they have a hologram of Juice WRLD?
Juice WRLD, yes, that is correct. And there's only one you're missing, and it's someone you definitely know. And they were part of the season.
Yeah. Son of a gun.
Oh,
Eminem.
Yes, there you go. You named all 4. You got
The
it.
red one or yellow?
He's wearing red in the game.
Light brown.
So yes, it was Juice WRLD, Eminem, Snoop Dogg, and Ice Spice, all part of the Fortnite Remix, the finale. And for those who don't know, the finale is a concert, and it set a new record for Fortnite. Fortnite Remix of the finale was, I don't want to say watch, but people were watching it, was experienced by, that's a great way, 14.3 million players. That makes it the new #1 concurrent player total in terms of Fortnite's live concerts. Previous record was at 12.3 million when they did the Travis Scott concert. This is what makes it really impressive. The Travis Scott concert was during the pandemic. So like people weren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
And literally 2 million more people went to this digital concert. So that's crazy. Still not the biggest total concurrent player event that Fortnite has ever had. That goes to the finale of the Marvel season that featured the battle against Galactus. That brought in 15 million people. But as far as concerts go, the biggest. So crazy. And if you didn't see the concert, we put a video of the entire concert in that post. So go watch if you want. Yeah, let's do this.
Okay.
Eurogamer talked to, I love these stories, so interesting to me. We don't usually get this stuff, but these kind of interviews happen when somebody leaves a company, because then they're like, I don't give a crap, and they start saying stuff. Eurogamer had a very long chat with Sony's former president, like their PlayStation guy. What's his name? Why am I blanking? Sean Layden. He is the former chairman of
Professor
Sony
Layden?
Interactive Entertainment Worldwide Studios, president and CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment America, and executive vice president and COO of Sony Network Entertainment International. So he was the guy at Sony for roughly 30 years, spearheading everything PlayStation did. He was the guy. He ain't there no more. So now he's willing to tell.
You're not that guy, pal.
Not that guy. You're that guy, pal.
You were that guy, but you're not that guy now.
He talked about some Nintendo related stuff. And you might remember there was a time when Nintendo and Sony were going to work together. There was going to be a Super Nintendo add-on, a peripheral that allowed it to play CD-based games.
Man.
And they had like Seventh Guest and stuff lined up for it. It was going to be called, from what I remember, the Super Nintendo PlayStation is what it was going to be called.
Very original.
And then it didn't happen because at the end, right before it was supposed to happen to be announced at GDC, I believe, Nintendo took the stage and was like, we're working with Philips. And they decided to partner with Philips on the CDI to allow them to use some of their properties on the CDI. Turns out to be one of the biggest mistakes Nintendo ever made. Probably the biggest mistake, because, the Virtual Boy didn't sell well, the Wii U didn't sell well, but their mistake here created a company rival that have been incredibly successful. So I'd say it's their biggest mistake. Now, some people have said that a lot has been made of this, as in like there's a big public falling out and Sony got stabbed in the back. And other people have said it really wasn't like that. Like it's just, the deal didn't come together and that was that. There was no big deal. So we'll never get the truth of it, but we do have what Mr. Layden says. And he said, quote, obviously we were going to build, or rather we built an optical drive peripheral for the Super Nintendo. Nintendo realized cartridges had already maxed out their memory footprints, and so blah, 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 blah. We were going to announce the partnership, and Nintendo left us standing at the altar after they did a pivot at the last minute and went with Philips. So we were left proverbially standing at the altar with the optical disc drive in hand. Their guy, Ken Kutaragi, went back to leadership at Sony and said, all I need is an operating system and some more connecting tissue for this thing, and we can build our own game machine.
I mean, that's the foolish part, right? Like they had it built. They had it functional.
Like there's prototypes.
And then all they needed to do was like they said, just get an operating system and everything's done. Like we did the hard part. Let's just move forward with this. Like that's
I don't know that we'll ever hear from Nintendo as far as why they got cold feet like this and why they thought the pivot to Philips was a better idea. I don't know, because they already worked with Sony on the Super Nintendo. The sound chip in the Super Nintendo is from Sony, so I don't know why it happened.
If they had just pulled out and didn't partner with anybody else, that would be one thing. But the fact that they dove right over to Philips seems like it was kind of like a back alley deal. Just seems weird.
I agree. It does seem very,
and it makes it worse too, because it's kind of like if they stayed with Sony, who knows what could have happened.
They went with Philips. The partnership was not good, and Philips died. As far as their game aspirations did, and what Nintendo did to Sony caused them to make the PlayStation. So.
And And I wonder, like, how much, if any, Nintendo like paid for, if that was an agreement where they're like, here's part of our contract or whatever, we're going to work on this and this is what we're looking for, and they developed it, and then they just walked away. And normally, there's deals in business, right, where you pay for what you asked for, the contract is up or whatever, and now outside of that contract we don't owe you anything, but Sony now has this thing that you helped develop and pay for. Like,
Hi, Joe Shabadoo.
Man.
Hi, Salamaster Lane.
like they're developing it with you. You have a direct competitor coming out of that.
Well, I guess Nintendo didn't see it like that. They didn't think Sony would put the money into starting literally their own game company. And then on top of all that, they didn't think like third parties would swarm to the PlayStation. They'd be like, who the hell's PlayStation? It's a nobody.
I wonder how things would be now if Sony figured out a way to incorporate that technology into their televisions. It would have been game over.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Right?
PlayStation?
If the PlayStation was that accessible where you're going to buy a television that now does TV stuff.
Well, Sony would now
Video
tell you,
stuff.
but that decision, that kind of line of thinking is what got them into a ton of trouble. They've been like, we've realized that people who buy game machines want it to be a game machine first. Like the other stuff is experimental at best.
But at the
'Cause
time,
they say with the PS3, that's the route that they took, where they were like, this does movies, this does DVDs, this does all this entertainment, and they were like, we got ourselves in huge trouble with that. So.
Yeah,
Microsoft
as well.
The Xbox One was similar to that, right? Where it was
Plug
like,
it in.
this is
It's
going
got
to do
a
it all
second
for
input
you.
for TV. Yeah,
And you're just like, does it play games?
it's crazy because, like this guy said in this interview, is like, we've realized people want their game systems first and foremost to play games, and it's like, yeah, of course they do. Why no?
Well, because otherwise you'd play it on like your phone. Like there's a time and a place for that stuff.
Yeah.
But if you really want to have like a nice entertainment experience, you know what I mean? It's like yeah, we're not having hamburgers at McDonald's. We got hamburgers at home. Like I don't know. I just think if you want to really like have the full experience, you want something dedicated.
Yeah. So Mr. Layton said that, and it was a bad decision by Nintendo. As I said, probably the worst decision they ever made. But Nintendo has persevered and found great success afterwards anyway. So, but I'm sure for many years they were like, boy, we really screwed the pooch on this one. Mr. Layton also show a perfect example of that. Layton went on to talk about how they wooed Square Soft at the time to take Final Fantasy VII off of the N64 and move it over to the PlayStation, which is a crazy thing to do because PlayStation was like a nothing, a non-existent entity. Like Nintendo's relationship with Squaresoft was
strong,
rock solid, and for Sony to be like, no, you gotta come over. You got just.
I'd say that they're even now.
Yeah, right. So he talked about how that happened, and he said Sony's guys. He said there were these guys, speaking of Sony guys, who would go out with people at Square and ply them with whiskey until the wee hours of the morning to finally get Final Fantasy VII off Nintendo and onto PlayStation. When that announcement was made, that was really the oh my god moment. Sony's really serious about this now, and that's down to the music guys. That he's saying the music team is what made it happen. The doggedness of just trying to get a deal over the line, they were amazing. That is an amazing deal. When you mention that alcohol is part, I mean,
so
in
he's
Japan,
just admitting that, like, we got him drunk and handed them the pen.
But in Japan, that's how a lot of that.
Also,
stuff
our
works. They
our
go out
guy
after work and get drunk and they do deals.
Our guy Oswald Cobb was able to talk him into it.
Oh yeah. So I think it was, even though that's like kind of stinky,
Stinky.
I think it worked out for the best for the game, right? Because there's no way that game could have been on the N64.
The game could have 100% been on
sounded
the
that
N64
with one cartridge. You'd have to have
that game's like all the vast majority of the songs in that game are MIDI songs. They're the same stuff you use on the Super Nintendo. There are songs that have vocals that would have been different, but you just need a bigger cartridge for that. So, everything could have been done, but it wouldn't have been a bigger cartridge.
Like the the cutscenes
That could have been on there too, but it would have been much more expensive. You'd need a bigger cartridge to do all that, whereas the CD has way more space and you don't have to worry about like all those issues. So like, like Resident Evil 2 on the N64 has
the
the cutscenes,
CD
has the audio, it has all the exact same stuff, but the cartridge is way more expensive because you have to get a bigger cartridge for the storage space. So yeah, it could have 100% worked. Now, what would have
So
happened?
even though the CD stores more, they needed 4 CDs on the
Yeah, because they weren't
PlayStation,
like
and
they weren't
needed
like
one cartridge with the answer.
Oh no, I don't. Who knows? It could have been 2 cartridges. We got no idea. But they weren't worrying about compression techniques back then. Like I'm sure they did a little compressing of things, but they were like, it's so cheap. CD's a fraction of a penny. We can do 4 CDs. It's fine, and then we don't need to spend time worrying about compressing things to fit them here and all that stuff. They could just put it on and be like, oh, we need another disc. So with the cartridge, it would have been a much tougher challenge, but you could do it, but it would have been more expensive. Yeah. So I would imagine, I was not at Square at the time, but I would imagine that was a major selling point to be like,
Yeah,
you guys don't have to like make concessions based on storage size and cost, whereas we're giving you CDs, which are so much cheaper, and you can just not really worry about that.
So Professor Layton said earlier that the Super Nintendo, or that Nintendo knew that the cartridge kind of was played out, and
He
they
says
wanted
that,
to get
and
it
it shows a lack of understanding about
because
Nintendo.
the N64 then came out, and that was cartridge
He
based.
does, yes. This guy, for as much as he is trumpeting the successes of Sony in wooing companies over and making the PlayStation, as he should, they did a great job. He fundamentally does not understand how Nintendo operates in other regards. Yeah, Nintendo still uses cartridges to this day. So, like, it's just a Sony mentality thinking, like, of course, why would you use cartridges now? So it's stupid. But in this case, about Final Fantasy and the PlayStation, he is correct, I would say. Hawk says, this story is always so different depending on which side tells it. It's like a northerner and a southerner explaining the Civil War. But no matter what, it makes me wonder what the game industry would be like if Nintendo and Sony had partnered after all. Yeah, who knows? Like, it could have ended up really hurting the industry. It could have ended up being an accessory that did not sell well at all, and maybe Sony would have made the PlayStation on their own anyway. Or maybe that just would have been Sony's cue to be like, well, we're not cut out for this game industry stuff, and I just would have stepped away. Who knows? But I would argue the way it went was the best for the industry in general, because that upped everybody's game. It raised awareness of games in general. It furthered games, made more healthy competition. And, the only one that left the industry as far as hardware goes is Sega. So it didn't hurt Nintendo. It hurt Nintendo, certainly. They lost relationships and didn't sell as many as Sony did. But Nintendo's still around. Sony's still around. And Xbox had nothing to do with it, but they're in there. So I'd say the industry's better for this happening. Obviously, Nintendo didn't like suffering through that era, but it is what it is. Professor Layton, which is what we will call him now. This is great. Again, showing that he fundamentally, even after 30 years in the industry, does not understand how Nintendo works. Was talking about the future of consoles in general. Because Eurogamer was like, what about consoles? Like, what's going to happen with consoles? Because Microsoft is taking Xbox games and putting them on PlayStation and Nintendo systems. And Sony just put out Horizon on the Switch. And, like, you guys got PC games out there that were on PlayStation. Like, what's the future of consoles? And Professor Layton says, quote, let's put Nintendo aside for a second because they live in their own private Idaho where the laws of physics apply in different sorts of ways. But with Xbox versus PlayStation, the Ali versus Frazier fight, frankly, if we have to start interrogating what the purpose is of a proprietary console and whether we have to start interrogating what the purpose is of a proprietary console and whether that can continue to be true. So he's being like, with Sony and Microsoft, the big guns here, I don't know what's going to happen and we're in trouble. But with Nintendo, I don't know what they're doing and nothing applies to them. So
it's funny that he words it like he's trying to put Nintendo down a little bit, but he's also saying that like Nintendo's going to be fine and we're the ones that are like screwed.
Yeah, I would need to hear his inflection to glean more on his feelings about it. But you could read it and be like, I don't know what Nintendo's doing. Nintendo does their own thing, but with the big guys in the big fight, like, And then it's funny to go like, I don't know what Nintendo's doing, but us big guys over here, the ones throwing heavy punches, our future is looking grim, and I don't know
We're
what's gonna
running out of
happen. Yeah,
punches.
exactly. So it's a weird thing to say. So again, I need to hear the inflection. We're just inferring things
But he's
based on what it
basically
says. But
just admitting that like graphics have come about as far as they're gonna come, and like now we need good games, and we just aren't making good games.
yeah, not at least not at the rate that they need to. And which is why they've started gobbling up other companies, because they're like, that'll fix the problem. We'll just bring these
Ugh.
companies into our ecosystem. And
And
then what
we'll-
ends up happening is those companies don't make the games they used to make because they're under new leadership, and other watchful eyes are there. So, yeah. I will say, it's crazy to me. This is a guy that was running Sony, like the PlayStation stuff, for 30 years. And after 30 years, he's like, I can't figure Nintendo out. I don't know what they're doing. Like, that's crazy. You like never at any point in your career were like, we really should focus on what Nintendo's doing, because every time we count them out, they hang in there or kick our butts. So we need to study this.
I don't know.
And
if
like
that's-
anybody on the outside would be like, yeah, it's the games. It's the games that they make. And they are not afraid to experiment with ideas. And sometimes the experiments fail, but more often they become big hits. So I mean, like it's very simple to me. They have iconic IP that they handle with extreme care, and you can't just say make a good game, because that's not how things work. But Nintendo takes the care and time to make sure their IP, when it comes to mainline installments, are treated very carefully and taken very seriously, because Nintendo knows that is the lifeblood of their systems. They will have success so long as they make games that keep those IP and their integrity at the top level. So, yeah, so I don't know how you don't see that as the man that ran PlayStation. Like, that's crazy.
I think they're just not allowed to. I mean, I know he doesn't work there anymore, and
Yeah,
he
he's
could say
gone.
whatever, but like he doesn't want to admit. I don't think they want to admit that Nintendo bested him. Like
I would say part of that is
I'm
in
sure-
there, because
I'm
he's
sure
got
it's-
another comment in this interview where they said something like it must have felt good for the PlayStation to have a success, especially after Nintendo backed out of the deal. And he says something like, the best revenge is something about success or something or other. And it's like, okay,
Sure.
you're still like,
the best revenge is living well.
yeah, like you still got that like mentality, which shows
Yeah.
why
But
Sony
that's-
is where it is.
Yeah, and like, and think about his position. That guy was like at the top. Like those people, I don't care what company you work for. There's something with your brain where you didn't
Yeah.
get there being the nicest person.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't believe it's
Say
true.
what you will about Reggie and all of his other whatevers, but like Reggie did understand that, like,
What's wrong with you?
Nintendo makes special games, and you don't mess with the games that Nintendo makes, and the developers make the games and Nintendo markets those games. Like, you don't go in and tell them what to make. They make stuff and then you market it. He understood that, and I think he understood that because he was actually a Nintendo fan beforehand, and I think that's important. So, and he clearly also understood pizza. Riff Silver says, I think consoles will continue to have a market until there becomes a good optimized living room experience for PCs where you can just sit down and play a game without having to fiddle with anything. It is funny that the tone on Nintendo has changed so much in the last 10 years. Everyone was convinced Nintendo would drop out of the console market then, but now many are convinced they'll be around forever. Hopefully they can keep that sentiment going if and when the other competitors in the console market were ever to move towards PC-focused releases. Yeah, for a PC to get to a point like you said, it would be wonderful, but I don't ever see it happening because PCs have so many variable pieces and parts that you can't just get a game and it will work. More often than not, it will work. It may not be able to function on its highest settings, but it's not as guaranteed as you put a game in a traditional console and it plays. I don't see how you can get to that. You know, you have something like the Steam Deck, which is a middle ground. A lot of games will work on the Steam Deck and are Steam Deck certified, but it's not the same as, every game on PC will work on Steam Deck. So I get what you're saying. I can't envision it being possible, but I'm not the guy making these calls. So all I can tell you is Nintendo is going to do whatever the hell they want and will continue to do that because that is Nintendo. So really cool to get that insight from that guy. We never hear that kind of stuff really, and it gives you some insight into how Sony operates in their mindset and mentality. So yeah, when you hear that line of thinking and that method of approaching things, you're like, okay, yeah, I understand why you've had some of the missteps you've had. Not like PlayStation 5 is doing bad or anything, but as Deux said, it sounds like they're like, the writing's on the wall, which Nintendo saw the writing on the wall in the GameCube era and was like, we got to get out of this horse race because this is not the race to be in. And Sony and Microsoft are still doing that. And only just now are you only a little bit seeing them be like, oh, I don't know. Maybe we can't just focus on better graphics.
I think
all
that's
the time.
why we're seeing so many like remakes and remasters, because it's like, we've got graphics. Let's update the graphics on great games.
Because this
We've
is
got
the problem.
graphics. You want to see them?
I
do
You
wanna
want to
see
see them?
Ooh. Because, like if you're Sony and Microsoft, what do you do? Because you've operated 30, 20 plus years, just new system, better graphics, couple bells and whistles. And now you're like, oh God, what do we do? How do we get people to buy this next system? Like the graphics difference is negligible at best. What are we going to do now?
Yeah, that's a great point.
What do you do? You're in trouble. I don't know.
What are you going to do?
What are we going to do? I don't know, but Nintendo has been thinking about answering that question for longer than the GameCube era. Just in the GameCube era, they were like, all right, we are definitely going a different route with hardware. But before that, Nintendo always tried new things with controllers and different stuff like that. So it's always been part of Nintendo's DNA. But that pivot during the GameCube or after the GameCube era.
Did you call it the GameCube?
That's what I heard too.
Okay.
Nintendo
GameCube.
GameCube. Was one of their best decisions ever. It worked out very well for them. And they clearly saw we can't chase graphics forever because
It was a
throwing
hairy time, but it worked out great for them.
It's throwing money into a pit, and you're chasing something that's going to have lesser and lesser returns for the money you're spending. So good on Nintendo for that. Nintendo, to my bane as a news site and to my thrill as a Nintendo fan, put out a Mario and Luigi Brothership interview this week. A developer, whatever they call them. It used to be called Iwata Asks, but obviously they're not called that anymore. They put out their developer Q&A about Mario and Luigi Brothership. Usually Nintendo puts these things out the week leading up to a game's launch. This time they put it out after. There have been things going on with Nintendo in the last few weeks where I'm like, they are focused on something else right now. They are preparing for something because their cadence and their like buttoned up nature is loosening a little bit because I imagine they're getting ready for the Switch successor and they're crossing their T's and dotting their I's over there. So like
They're lowercase j's.
So like you could depend on if a game was announced for Switch Online, like in old games, like Tetris, like I said, every region would announce it at exactly the same time. The trailers would go live at exactly the same time. Or if there's a press release about something, it would go live at exactly the same time worldwide. The last few weeks, it has not been like that for Nintendo. Like Japan has announced Donkey Kong Land 3 for Switch Online. And there were no other announcements for other regions. We all know it's going to other regions, but something about the timing was off. And like an hour later or 45 minutes later, the regions announcements come out. And you're like, me as someone who's been covering Nintendo for 20 years, it's like, something's going on here. They're off. They're not paying as much attention here as they usually do, which to me indicates they're doing the other stuff. So again, an example of that is Mario and Luigi Brothership's interview coming out a few weeks after the game is out. But it was an interview. It was an interview with Nintendo and Acquire, which is the new partner they worked with on Brothership because Alpha Dream, rest in peace. That was the company they always worked with on Mario and Luigi games, but that company shuttered.
Like a Bravo nightmare.
So they needed a new partner, and they found Acquire, and Acquire talked about what it was like working on this franchise, finding their footing, and this was the first time they've ever partnered with and co-developed a title with Nintendo. So pretty cool for them. Because Nintendo said in this interview they weren't sure they could make a new Mario and Luigi. They're like, Alpha Dream's gone. They had the special sauce. We don't know if we can do this alone. We need a partner. Who could we go with? And they were like, Acquire's done a lot of stuff on Nintendo, and they've done a lot of RPGs. Maybe they'd be a good company. So they went to them, and Acquire was like, yeah, we got some pitches, and they ironed things out.
They preached to Acquire.
And
so hear me out. Mario and Luigi are brothers, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Luigi,
We'll
Mario,
work from
and
there.
Mario,
We'll
Mario.
work from there.
That's
Well, it's because they say in the interview they went with that. They considered 100 different names. They
Nintendo's
said
like,
over-
so you're familiar then?
They considered over 100 different names for the game. They went with Brothership because of the term mothership, obviously, but also the theme of connectivity in the game is hugely important. Like
plus they end up dating at
relationships
the end.
between
And if
brothers,
the- and they went-
relationship between friends, relationships between the islands and the brothership being connected and tethered together. Like connectivity is a thing between
Mhm.
everybody. All the main characters look like sockets or plugs. Like it's multiple
yes,
layers of it.
Yes.
And if they
Um,
called it Brotherhood, it would be like, a bunch of boroughs in a city and gang violence.
seems a bit racist. Couldn't you have like there's Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, although that's violent, but it's not
It's
It
violent.
is violent.
And it's like different.
like if we're a Brotherhood.
Assassin's Creed is like different
You and I
groups,
are
right? Like
You
different
and I are the
gangs.
grade school Brotherhood. Me, you, Lube, JTS,
the Brotherhood of the
the
what?
Brotherhood of the Traveling Pants.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna try to come up with something else.
They also said they considered. So Acquire was like, "What should we do for the visuals here?" And Nintendo was like, "Well, what do you got?" They considered doing an HD 2D version
That would've
because,
been
as you know,
awesome.
Mario and Luigi before were all 2D games. So they were like, well, if we're gonna keep it 2D, we could do HD 2D. And Nintendo was like, well, we kind of want something that like retains the style of like Mario and Luigi in the Mario and Luigi series. And Acquire was like, well, we could do that 3D and try and capture the same look. And they did, and I think they did like a phenomenal job. It looks like they replicated the sprite work really well. I'm impressed. That said, I would love to see an HD 2D version. I think that would be cool too. So yeah, very cool interview.
High
Just
def to def.
like seeing Nintendo being like, we're gonna be honest, Alpha Dream closed, and we were like, oof, I don't know if we can do another Mario and Luigi. And they said they experimented for years, and we're like, we just can't get it where we want it to be. We need somebody else's help here, and then that paved the way for Acquire. And they formed a great partnership, and now look, it looks like Sony might be buying Acquire. So that would suck for Nintendo to be like, Mario and Luigi back on the table. Oh no, please don't
That'd
go.
be a bummer.
So there's other companies they can work with. Like I would suggest the people behind Sea of Stars, Sabotage Studio would be a great one. They know RPGs. They love Nintendo's properties. They understand Nintendo's properties. That would be a great partner. I just don't know if Nintendo would go. I'm not trying to knock them, but I don't know that Nintendo would go that low with such an important franchise. And I mean low as in like they're a smaller company. It's not a big team. So, but they'd be a great partner. Like Camelot would be a great partner, I think, too. Camelot's done Golden Sun. They have a great relationship with Nintendo. Like I think Camelot would be a really good one.
And Sony has already acquired this.
They have
company?
not, but word on the street is they are going.
So there's still time. They're still on the table.
Yeah, but Nintendo has said multiple times they don't really do acquisitions. They're not really interested in that. So
Didn't they just acquire a company like last year or something?
yeah, one that they've worked with
Shark
for
Bite or
20
something?
years. Yeah,
Shark-
they've worked with them forever.
Shark Fin, what was it called?
It was
Shark-
Shark something.
Shark
yeah,
Bait?
but that's for, and again, that's not even for game development. That's just
Shark
for that's just for making movies, cinematics. Like that's not a game development company. But yeah, that like look at how long it took them to snatch up next level games. They've worked with next level games for over 20 years.
Can't
and
these
then
companies
eventually
still
are
get
like,
their
"I think
money
we're gonna
like
do it."
without getting acquired? Can't they still get their money with contracts of like jobs? Right?
Yeah, but you look at
Like-
it like Acquire. Well, first off, there can be a hostile takeover, and there's nothing Acquire can do. Like they're just like, yep, you got the money and you bought it. That's it. We're going over. It's Katakawa is the company, I believe. So it's like everything under their umbrella. So that could happen. But then you look at other companies and they're like, they put out games, they have success, but you put out one bad game, not one game that doesn't sell well, or two, you're in the shovel. You're like, oh my God, what are we going to do? We're going to die. So if Sony's like, hey, come under our umbrella, you don't have to worry about that stuff anymore. The higher ups at the company are like, yeah, that's great because their jobs are secure no matter what. And the guys actually building stuff are like, I don't know about this. And Sony's like, don't worry, baby, we're hands off. And then they get in there and they're like, we're hands on. I'm going to touch you whether you want to be touched or not. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Acquire. But that would suck for Nintendo. The whole nine says based on what they ended up releasing, their initial inclination was probably correct. So he's saying he doesn't like Mario and Luigi Brothership. Why? I don't know, because I'm not getting into the comments. I'm saving our releases for last, our sweet releases for last. Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake is available now. I am playing it, and we have an update on the game's sales. So far, the title has sold over 2 million copies worldwide. Great news for the Dragon Quest franchise. It is a very popular franchise in Japan, but not really elsewhere. But 2 million sold is a great number nonetheless. Keep in mind, this is a remake, an HD 2D remake at that. I think the game has sold over 1 million copies in Japan alone, I believe. So the rest of the number is split with the rest of the world. I would imagine the bulk of that is North America and then Europe and then whatever. But 2 million, that is great. The creator of Dragon Quest thanked everybody. And he also said, hey, if you got this and you enjoyed it, you should introduce it to someone else, like a friend or a family member. And he wasn't like, tell him to buy it. He's like, let him borrow it, which I thought was really cool because you don't really see that. They're like, spread the word on this game and get people to buy it. He's just like, hey, just have him play it. Let him borrow it. Now, obviously, borrowing games is a little harder
knows
nowadays.
Everyone's going digital. That's why he said that. Come on.
Well, he is Japanese, and in Japan, digital is not anywhere near as big. So in Japan, it makes a lot of sense. If he's like let somebody borrow the game. Yes, that audience much bigger over there. But you could still let people borrow games here. Obviously, this is released physically, so you could do that.
There's
but
an asterisk, so it says let them borrow the game for 3 days and then start charging or have them buy.
As Nicky Hill was saying a couple of weeks ago, and putting you in the position of letting me borrow your Switch to play another code or cross memory, whatever. There are people who could do that here. We have a friend, Andrew Foote, who back in the day let me borrow his Game Gear for a couple weeks. He was like,
Very nice.
borrow it. So he gave me a Game Gear and all his games. So
But you had to supply your own batteries.
I
was gonna say
did,
that-
and that burned through.
That was just because your power went out and you needed a heater, right?
Yeah. So there are people that will certainly be like, you can borrow my Switch and play the game, sure. But yes, physical copies are out for every system. No matter what you have, Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, you can get a physical copy of this game. But 2 million sold, great news. Hope it goes even higher.
3 weeks.
Greatly enjoying this game. Greatly enjoy. I'll talk more about it later. Joe Shabadoo says, more like HD 2 million. Am I right?
Yeah.
HD 2 million. That's very good. Very good. Our last top story before the releases. As I said, the Switch Successor reveal rumors for January, February, but there's another rumor from the same industry insider that says Kirby Planet Robobot, which is a 3DS installment in the long-running Kirby franchise, which is extremely highly regarded, one of the favorite entries among fans. Rumor is that is going to get a Switch port, and that's all there is to the rumor.
Wait,
Not a big surprise.
What is it? Say it again.
Kirby Planet Robobot.
This is out already.
It is on the 3DS, so yes, it is out. But one of the most highly regarded and respected Kirby games in the entire franchise. A bona fide fan favorite. Rumors it's going to the Switch.
I don't remember this game. Do you?
Not me.
He wasn't really dabbling in Kirby games at the time.
I never,
Planet Robobot is a
never dabbled.
There
top
it is.
3 Kirby game for me. That is a fantastic
top,
Kirby game.
It's the second from the top there,
Great.
so top 2.
Great story in that game.
But it's a
Some-
3D. It's on the 3DS. But it's still
Yes.
side scrolling.
Yes.
So
Because
it's
as we
3D
know,
2D.
Kirby in the Forgotten Realm
Was the first
was
3D.
the first fully 3D Kirby game.
So it's 3D 2D,
Sure.
right? And we can call it
2.5D is what I would say, but
2.5. But how do you move around?
2.5D is just different perspectives. You know, you see background and foreground, and on the 3DS, obviously, you were seeing it in 3D if you chose to play it that way.
But you're moving side scrolling.
You are. There are portions where you do a little, like, I don't want to say you're moving freely, but the camera, you know, it's like a Donkey Kong Country Returns or something. There are portions where the camera shifts and stuff's going on. But an excellent installment. Not for me. I won't be getting it, but you know, I know that's a beloved entry. So
I didn't even know it
sure
existed.
people will. Well, if you would like to borrow it, Nicky Hill, you're welcome to. MeReal says all this seems very in line with typical Nintendo expectations and timelines. MeReal, I agree. Let's do sweet releases.
Do you remember
All
that
aboard the
3DS?
sweet releases.
You remember that?
I'm playing it every week now.
For what?
I'm playing.
We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it
Triforce
later.
Heroes.
Oh, he said it.
I've said it the last couple of weeks. Here's what's available in North America: Fitness Boxing 3, Your Personal Trainer.
My personal trainer?
You pick your personal trainer. Fantasian Neo Dimension, a brand new RPG that was only on Apple devices, but it's been upgraded and upscaled and put out on traditional platforms, including Switch, made by the legendary RPG creator Hironobu Sakaguchi, the Final Fantasy man. He is the Final Fantasy guy and was that guy for many years. If you have a favorite classic installment of Final Fantasy, including 7, Hironobu Sakaguchi is your man. Soundtrack by Nobuo Uematsu, the Final Fantasy guy, including Final Fantasy 7. So these two have teamed back up again to make an RPG, and the funniest part is they released it on their own, but this port is published by Square Enix. It's all full circle, people. A guide to personal finance, how to manage your money. And Zombie Odyssey. Arcade Archives, Fantastic Night Dreams, Cotton.
Is the N supposed to be lowercase?
I'm going to say no, but I don't know for sure. Beat Blast, Rhythm Rampage. Cat Cat. Cats vs. Dogs, Military Mission. Cowboy Duel. Red Wild, West Massacre. Dinosaur RPG, Dino Survival Simulator Survivor. Dirt Bike Extreme 3D. It's a choice
You
having
play
survival
as
and
this-
survivor in the title.
You play as the simulator survival
Yes.
list survivor.
Did I say Dogman? Dogman is Mission Impossible. The PC 8801 version of Riglas. Explore Another World bundle. Fishing Valley. Flower Power, The Adventures of Magical Plants. Game Empire Tycoon Dealer Simulator. Gunlocked. Heaven Seeker, The Savior of This Cruel World. Haiyan City Story. High Cars 2. I Am an Air Traffic Controller Airport Hero Centrair 20th Anniversary.
I am a surgeon.
I am a surgeon. Idle Hell. Ironfall Invasion. Oddly enough, Nicky Hill. A game that was on the 3DS, revamped for Switch. Jewel Match Solitaire Winterscapes 2 Collector's Edition. Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 Remastered. The classic Legacy of Kain games from the original PlayStation. Coming over to Switch. Love Too Easily. Tell me about it. Master Chef Learn to Cook. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Reader's Rewind. What a wild ride this has been. Announced as coming out on December 10th. Last week announced that it was delayed to the end of the year on Switch. This week announced, just kidding, no delay, coming out December 10th.
They rewound it.
They rewound it. And let me tell you,
Rewinded
this
it.
is, if you're a 2D beat 'em up fan, even if you're not a Power Rangers fan, this is something special. Keep an eye on this one.
Have you played it?
I can't talk about
How do you know then?
it because I played it. Mythwrecked, Ambrosia Island, Neon Blood, Pampas and Celine, Pet Kawaii Shop, Pick My Heart Chapter 1, Pick My Heart Chapter 2, those
My
are
Heart.
visual novels, Pop Slinger Volume 1 and 2, the Loveless Series bundle, Rascals Escape, Real Boxing 2 Remastered, Roller Coaster Tycoon Classic. That is the original Roller Coaster Tycoon, re-released for the very first time and upgraded for the Switch.
Oh.
Santa's Christmas Adventure, Savant Ascent Remix, School Paranormal Laboratory, Shop Simulator Pet Shop, Shop Simulator Supermarket, Sky Aces World War II Air Combat, Sports Supermarket. What the fart does that mean? Stella
It's all
of the
protein.
Stella of the End. Oh, and then I'd love it. Sugar Tanks Arena. Hey, get over here, Sugar Tanks. Sunhaven. Super Nottage World. Superheroes. Power of New Horizons Legacy. Taito Milestones 3. Another collection of classic Taito games. The Escape Room Chronicles Episode 1. The Mysterious Kuma Donalds. Trash Punk and Food Truck
The Kuma
Tycoon.
Donalds. That's my favorite 80s band.
Friday Pack. Trash Pumpkin Knights and Guns Black Friday Pack. Trio Adventures. Uncle Chop's Rocket Shop, which has been delayed for multiple years, but is finally available.
Wow.
West Isles Law, World War II City Rebirth Tycoon, and finally Zumba Royal Marble Shooter Mania.
Is there a comment?
Nico Darunia says these releases are so bitter. Something Sweet would be nice.
Oh,
Josh, do you have something sweet for us?
What are the next European masterpieces? Let's find out with Nicky's sweet releases.
Thank you, Josh. We are in it. We're in the month of December.
Finally.
The month of our Lord. Am I right? The month.
Sure.
The month of December. For the week of December 5th, the year of our Lord 2024. There's games coming out. Let me share with you what those games are going to be.
I would love to hear this game. Hi, Tater Tot. Happy Saturday.
Fantasian Neo Dimension. You said a bunch of stuff about it before. I don't remember what it was, but golly. Oh, something about the original Final Fantasy people, the original Final Fantasy guy, the original Final Fantasy composer getting together, releasing this game on their own. Yeah, let's go for it, right? Yeah.
Right.
Fitness Boxing 3, your personal trainer.
My personal trainer?
Your personal trainer. To Weinstein in Asban.
You think you wouldn't want your game name associated with any Weinstein right now, but
Right, but he's in
now
a,
two of
they're
them?
in a place that's kind of like Azkaban, so maybe it's a prison.
Prisoner of Azban.
Arcade Archives,
oh my god!
Arcade Archives, City Bomber.
I went to look at the list to follow along, and we're 3 down.
Yep.
4 Arcade Archives.
Four. We did just get the 4.
I'm sorry, this is so slow. I going as fast as I can without interruptions. Cats hidden in Bali. Kukulu. Cowboy Duel. Red Wild West Massacre. Cursed Feed. These kitchens have gone crazy. What is it? It's the Cursed Feed.
Going as fast as it can without interruption. By himself.
Diesel Legacy, The Brazen Age. The PC 8801 release a console rigless.
Is that the cousin of that guy from Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
Flower Power, The Adventures of Magical Plants. Furious Bikers. Glitch Blasters Waifu. I thought that was last week. Maybe it was last week in America. Grand Rush, Highway Car Traffic Racing Simulator. Heaven Seeker, Hentai Girls College Romance.
Hell yeah.
Ironfall
Little higher
Invasion. Land of Mushrooms, Halloween Edition, right on time. Leo's Fortune, also for the makers of Land of Mushrooms. Sorry if there were some hiccups and you didn't get it out on earlier. I didn't mean to be rude with that
Oh,
comment.
with the Halloween aspect. Okay.
Um,
Maybe mushrooms celebrate Halloween at a different time.
Leo's Fortune, Master Chef, Learn to Cook.
That is the official Master Chef brand.
Wow. With Gordon Ramsay?
They got somebody that kind of looks like a cartoon version of Gordon Ramsay. I don't know. I would imagine either they couldn't get his likeness, but they're trying to be like.
You know, it'd be funny
It's the
if it
same.
was John Cusack reprising his role as Rob Gordon instead
It
of
is
Gordon.
not.
Okay.
He calls the children stupid donkeys in this game.
Oh. Mission in Snowdriftland.
The risotto is raw. You stupid
Mythwrecked, Ambrosia Island. Omnom Run 2. Pampas and Celine.
The mamas and the pampas.
And Celine. Pet Clinic Simulator. Pick My Heart Chapter 1. Pick My Heart Chapter 2. You can pick your heart. You can pick your friends, but you can't pick your friend's heart. Pool Fever. Who's got pool fever?
It's a bad time of year to have pool fever.
Yeah. Rage.
What if it's
Well,
cool, like stick?
I mean, if you go swimming in a pool in the winter, you might end up with a fever, right?
Cold water doesn't make you sick.
Then
The
you'll
old
end up
wives'
with a
tale.
negative fever, which is hypothermia.
Some
That
old wife told us
Rage
that.
Swarm. Real Boxing 2 Remastered. Roller Coaster Tycoon Classic. That's the original game.
Mhm.
Yeah. Santa's Christmas Adventure. Savant Ascent Remix. Shark Simulator. Shop Simulator Supermarket. Sinvers on Wheels. Stella of the End. Sugar Tanks Arena. Hey there, Sugar Tanks. Tank vs. Tank.
Hey there,
Hey,
tank
tank,
versus
tank.
tank.
The Escape Room Chronicles, Episode 1. Uncle Chop's Rocket Shop. WAND Wand Project, and Zumba Royal Marble Shooter Mania.
Is there a comment?
There is a comment from Nico Darunia. They say, now this is some sweet stuff.
That's very nice, Nico Durnia. We appreciate your dedication. Thank you. Anybody who
Thank
makes
you.
a point to go in the European releases and leave a comment, your name is spoken, and we appreciate it. That's your top story. We had a lot to do today, and we're doing it.
Hey,
good.
I got through that list without the song running out. Just kidding. I know it's a shorter song.
Did you?
And
phase
you
it
had
out
a
or did it
longer
phase out
list.
on its own?
I phased it.
Oh, okay, just wondering because I was gonna say it was perfect timing, but the
She's
woman
a
behind the
pro.
scenes, she's good.
She's a pro.
Mom Brain, what have you been playing?
I've been playing screw pin jam puzzles.
Whoa,
Is that
watch
what
your
that is?
mouth.
Screw pin jam puzzle.
I also
Was that
just,
the one your family? Yeah, okay.
Yep.
It's the one.
I managed to defeat level 16,
Which is the one that slowed him down.
is the one that
I'm
Ramita
still
is
there.
on.
You're still there.
Everybody in the family has gotten stuck there for at least a month. If
And
not
Mom
more.
Brain
I'm on
blew
week
through it.
5. She beat it in, I'm going to be generous and say 2 days. I think it was 1 day, but she
Wow.
was in and out, done. I'm still there. Cannot do
What's your secret, Mom Brain? So what level are you on?
17.
Oh, okay. So you've been stuck on 17.
Her 17 is my 16.
Well, I mean, I've only been there for a little while. Also started playing Infinity, Nikki.
Did you really?
Oh,
When? Today?
how about it?
Wow.
Well, tell
you guys
me.
even
I
live
want to hear.
together?
I'm curious, man. I wrote about it, and you're playing it before I did. Tell me.
So far so good.
No,
mean, it's-
no, I need to hear.
Show me to me, Rachel.
Tell me about it.
So the deal is, it's a little bit. It took my phone a little while to download. It's pretty big.
When I said, when I talked about it earlier, and I said gotcha game, I was like, she's a little curious about this. I thought something was up, but I said, I did mention it to her, so
Well,
didn't think you'd be playing it though.
So it took me a hot minute because there's like a, you're like holding your phone and it's like a joystick and you're moving around like all the, that's a lot of.
The virtual thumbstick, yes.
Yeah, it's not hard. It just took me a second to get used to it. So far so good.
I'm gonna get angry. Tell me about the game. What do you do? What's going on? How do you
I don't
play?
really know
What-
You've
yet.
played
I
it,
haven't really
haven't
been playing much.
Does anybody listen to me?
No.
I said twice now. I didn't download it yet. I wanted to
Oh,
play it.
yeah,
I
you
was
did say
asking
that.
about it because I'm afraid of the gotcha elements.
Did they get you, Mom Brain?
No, not yet. But like I said, I haven't really played a whole lot. You get a couple. So far, I've got a couple of different outfits, and each outfit gives you like a different ability. But so far, like it's just been a lot of like hand holding. Just
Yeah.
like here's how we do
Onboarding.
this, here's how we do that. So I really don't know how much I can speak to
Okay, that's
the
fine then.
actual gameplay.
Didn't know you were still that early.
But you'll keep playing.
Yeah, absolutely. So
well,
far, so
then
good.
I will 100% make sure I join in and we can compare outfits.
Excellent. Sounds great. Think that's it for me.
Nikki Hill, what have you been playing?
Whatever that royal game is, royal pain in my butt, Royal Kingdom.
Doesn't sound like a pain. Sounds like a pleasure in your butt.
No,
Whoa.
it's the addicting. Like I'm got, I guess. Is that what
They
that
got
is?
you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not paying for anything, but they got me.
GACHA, but still, yeah.
Oh,
Gotcha mechanics. Yes, it's all the same.
Did you ever play 1000 Times Resist? You bought it, right?
I played the
first
What,
chapter, or whatever?
prelude or whatever, and I was like, man, I don't understand what these people are saying, and the text is small and my TV is so far away. So
Hecky Grace.
Hair to hair.
You should turn up the volume because you can hear them speak every
pump
line.
up the volume. I haven't turned on my Switch in a while. I've Royal Kingdom has absorbed, like, just infiltrated my entire life. Not happy about it. I'm gonna have to delete it soon just because like I'm getting nothing done. I get everywhere late, which there was
You get to work late.
I haven't had a job. So yeah, that's how I get around
I
that
missed all
one.
these jobs. So are you not going back to 1000 Times Resist? Just
There's a lot of
Yeah,
games I
okay.
need to go back to. You know, I never
the old
finished.
avoidance.
I never. No, it's not avoidance.
It's not the question I asked you.
What?
I said, are you ever going to go back to it?
Yeah, I would like to, but there's also a lot of other things. Echoes of Wisdom. What was
Mhm.
that other one? Legend of Zelda. Tears of the Kingdom. That
Mm.
was started that one. And my initial reason for not starting Breath of the Wild was that I was afraid that I'd put it down and then be like trapped in a way of like, oh, I can't get back into this, you know. And I tried to play Tears of the Kingdom a while ago, and I was kind of that. I was like, well, I've put it down for too long, and now I'm kind of lost. And even though there's like ways around it, and you have your objectives, I'm like, there's a flow that you get into by the time you get into that deep of the game, and I don't have the flow. So there we go.
Time to start over.
But I've only played one game. I've already said what the game was. What have you been playing?
Uku. I've been playing Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've kind of given up on the turnip, the stock market.
Brian, hurt too badly.
I
by
was
the
hurt
turnip
too
market.
badly, so it's been like 2 weeks since I haven't even done it in 2 weeks, so I just kind of gave up. And then today I was playing, just messing around as I usually do in the morning, and I went into the bathroom in my house.
Hi, Granimus.
In
Real
the
House?
game.
Oh, in the game.
And there was like every surface was covered with like rotten turnips because I forgot.
Oh, no.
Because when I sold last time at a loss, I was probably so upset that I didn't even check the bathroom for some reason. So who knows how long all those rotten turnips were in there. But that was funny. Then been playing some Fortnite. Fortnite has the new season, which has been fun so
Jesus
far.
Christ, it's only been a week?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to talk about it yet because we didn't play it.
Zowie.
But yeah, I like it a lot so far. There's some traversal added in, so it feels a little bit more like modern Fortnite rather than OG Fortnite, which I prefer better. So yeah, with the Typhoon Blade, which is like a katana blade where you can move quickly, run fast, and things like that. And then there's Oni masks, which are very cool and creepy, and there's one that lets you teleport. So a couple of things like that allow you to move quickly around the board, which I bloody love. And then yeah, it's been fun. I really like the aesthetic. It's the entire map has like a Japanese makeover.
Weeaboo alert.
Yeah, and if that's what it means to be a weeaboo, me a boo.
Weeaboo.
Meaboo.
Meaboo. Meaboo. That's
Meaboo.
really good.
So yeah,
Mia
Meaboo.
B works too, right? Mia be a weeaboo.
Me be a weeaboo.
That works too. Yeah.
Kbabio Jew is we've just made things up and it's been fun. So yeah, I'm liking it so far. There's little bosses and mini bosses scattered around each the map and always in kind of like different designated places. That's been fun. Yeah, so really enjoying it. Playing with friends has been fun, as usual. And then played a little bit more of Duke Nukem on the Switch, and that's been fun and hilarious. And I forgot to Google about the poop. I told you that.
Oh yeah.
One of the enemies I think pooped or something, and there was like a little poop on the ground, and then
I'm sorry, what? Oh, what? What was it?
Droppings. It was
Yeah.
it was like alien droppings, and then and then I walked through
I'm
them.
sorry to tell you, but I found alien drops.
And then
This is
it
gonna
was
be
in like a
expensive.
little corridor, so it wasn't like I wasn't trying that hard to avoid it, but like it was in a place where I couldn't really avoid it, and I walked over it, and then there were like little footprints where I walked. So it was just like a little thing that's so cheesy, but back in the day, if I had played this game like when it first came out as a young teen, I would have been like, "This is hilarious."
He would have been crapping on his own.
I would have been crapping,
Trail of
walking
Tears.
around.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say.
Actually, yeah, I know it well. So I've slipped on my own droppings. But yeah. Oh yeah, hail to the king, baby.
Shake it, baby.
Yeah. So it's fun and it's funny and it's scratching that itch. And then last but not least, so this, I guess Black Friday came around and I snooped around for some deals, not really looking for anything in particular, and I found at quite a cheap price a physical copy of the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1,
Oh.
and I did no research on it and bought it because it was like really cheap and physical, and it came and I was like, I can't wait to play the original Metal Gear from NES the way I remember it and love it. And then booted it up, and I guess it's the MSX version, which is a little different, especially starting out. The music seems different, and like it does, there's not really a frame rate, but it seems choppy, like chugs along, and I was like, what, this isn't my Metal Gear. And they didn't have like the translation issues that I find so funny. So I played that for a little bit, and I was kind of like a little bummed out, and I was like, well, you know what, at least I've got Metal Gear Solid, because I've always wanted to go back and play that. It's been a while since, I played the Twin Snakes remake or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just like the port of the PlayStation 1 version. So you really, holy cow. I mean, I look back on these games with such rose-colored glasses. When I saw that game boot up, I didn't know what I was looking at. I can't even play it without getting seasick. It's so ugly. Yeah, beautiful though. Like, incredible game, amazing what they did back then with that. Like, it really is an amazing thing, but holy cow, I wasn't prepared for it to be like that, and I started to get a I started to get a headache. I played it for about 30 minutes, and I was like, holy cow,
because it wasn't meant to be seen in HD. Maybe meant to be on a CRT with some smoothing on.
I wish I had just did a little. I mean, again, it was very affordable, but I wish I did just a little research, because I was kind of hoping that it would be like the original Metal Gear and Twin Snakes remake for the Solid. So that's on me, but hey, they're classic games. There's still 2 more. Sons of Liberty's on there, and Snake Eater.
Sons of Liberty should not look. You should be better off with Sons of Liberty. I mean, it was a PS2 game, so you should be good.
Right. So the second and the third one will probably look better.
That's a Metal Gear game.
It is a Metal Gear collection, yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that the name of like a show on FX though? Sons of Liberty.
Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, something different. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it was great to hear David Hayter's voice again, and it was the little things were nice. I played the crap out of that game on PlayStation. That was like one of that and Resident Evil, and that I always talk about in Final Fantasy. But Metal Gear Solid, I played so much, and it really is. It's something great. So I'm glad that I have this version. You know what I mean? It's like nice to have. I can't see really going and playing it. I might play the MSX Metal Gear, and I've never played Snake's Revenge, which is also on there.
Mm-hmm.
So I might give those a shot. And I might play 2 in Snake Eater at some point, but I can't see playing Metal Gear Solid like that. If I ever play that again, I got to find myself that GameCube version, because that version was.
I believe I still own that.
Well, that's another thing. That should be on a CRT TV too. So I don't know if that's going to look as good as I remember either on my TV.
There might be options in that collection to make it more visually pleasing for you. I don't know. I don't remember.
I really don't know.
I've posted all this stuff. I don't remember what options and settings are in there, but there's got to be like CRT filters and stuff like that. Maybe one of those would do something for you.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's that. That's all I played. RMC, what do you got for us?
Thanks for asking. I also played Fortnite, and I also enjoying the new season. I like that there's a sword back. I have lots of fun with a sword. I do like both the masks. The fire Oni mask is fun and does a lot of damage, but the void mask is a ton of fun, because you just the ability to throw a void across large portions of the map and just zip right over there. It's fantastic. You can use it in some really cool ways. But I like if a friend is down, I can throw a void pick up the friend and then warp with them on my back. So that's a great way to get people out of trouble, and that's a ton of fun. I also Miyaboo. I'm a big fan of the map. I love Asian themed stuff. So you got cherry blossoms and just beautiful colors and Japanese style buildings and samurai stuff. And give me anything like all the way from like samurai style buildings or that era building to like Neo Tokyo and futuristic. I just really like that kind of approach. So I'm loving this. It's just a nice, bright, fun looking map. All the locations are enjoyable. It's great. Not surprising. That's beautiful, Granimus. Not surprisingly, it's another great season of Fortnite. I really like the Hollow Twister rifle. That is a really fun one to use. Yeah, it's good. I really don't have any complaints. It's a really fun one, and we've had some pretty damn good luck this season. We've been doing
so far.
I'd say, as far as beginning of seasons go, this has been one of our best. We've gotten like a decent amount of wins. So greatly enjoying that.
Why is it luck and not skill?
I mean, it's a mix of both. There's luck that comes into play, like somebody gets trapped in the storm and they die. We didn't do anything there, but there are fights where there are times, especially this season, where things are like we don't say anything to each other, but things just click for us, where we're like marking people and we're on it, and like we'll wipe out an enemy and we'll be like, that was a medallion team. Like, well, we just got our crap together in that section. I don't know, because it's like as this is going on, it's really like us saying, guess what snack I'm eating, while we're like crunching something into the microphone, or like, did you see the latest episode of Silo and stuff like that? And while we're doing that, Lube is like, there's an enemy over here. And we're like, and more often we're like, Lube, we're trying to have a conversation here.
Lube would
and
be like,
making up stupid names for
yeah,
stuff. So.
Lube would be like, dude, we're going this way. We're going this way. And I'm just like, but in shrinking,
yeah, exactly.
Harrison Ford said this.
But it works for us, and it seems to be working extra. Freddie Frost says, you guys going to try OG? Heard it's tough. Well, I played OG, the original OG, and it was tough. I would be down to play it. I would imagine our gang would be down to try it one night, and then we'd be done with it.
I'm down to try it, but my problem is I'm not going to... This is such a do thing to say, but like I just know I'm not going to like it as much as like modern Fortnite. And I just feel like, why waste my time playing that when I'd have more fun playing modern Fortnite? But I have no problem trying it out, obviously.
Well,
we did that with the Reload.
Yeah, and I like Reload. I would go back and play Reload. I enjoyed that. I would play regular Fortnite more, but like once every couple of weeks or once a week, I would go in and play Reload. Are you going to play this new one? Because I'm really excited about that.
The first-person shooting one? Oh, I'll try it out.
The 5v5.
I have to try it
and it's objective based, like it's like Team Fortress, or it's like Counter-Strike. I mean, I
don't know what first-person emotes are going to look like, though.
You probably won't. I don't know.
Maybe it goes into third person
Maybe
just for the
emotes won't be there.
Now,
but,
if that's
maybe
the
you'll
case,
only be able to see your friends' emotes. You just can't see yours.
Maybe.
I don't know. But, I love the defend the bomb, defuse the bomb. I love that kind of gameplay mechanic. So having that in Fortnite would be a ton of fun. Plus, it's one, you kill someone, they're dead. There's no revives. The rounds are very quick. Rounds will happen like, I don't know, what's the time of it? Probably anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes if I had to guess. But, you die, that's it. And then the next round goes, and it's the first to whatever score wins. I love bomb defusing and bomb defending in a game. That kind of stuff, it really tickles my fancy. So, and the fact that it's 5 players, we were just saying last night or the night before, we often, especially nowadays, have 5 people in the lobby. So it'd be nice to play a mode where all of us are in there the whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll give it a try and we'll see how it is. Maybe some of us will like it and some won't. Maybe we'll stick with it more than we think. I don't know. But first person Fortnite is something that's been rumored for a very long time. This new mode, I didn't know anything about it, but now it's coming out the 11th in like early access, whatever they're calling it. But you just go in and play it. So I'm very pumped. I think it's a really cool idea. I'm down to try it. I think.
Do we know when it comes out?
Yeah, I think it's the 11th. It's next week for sure, but I think it's the 11th. Give me one. Yeah, it's very surprising that they're like, hey, here's this thing. It's brand new and it's coming out next week. But I like it. News. Now I got news. Fortnite goes first person with Ballistic, launching early access December 11th. So there you go. A 5v5 tactical shooter in early access. Ranked, unranked modes, which is great for us because we do not want ranked. Strategy, tactical teamwork, and individual prowess. Tell me all about it. So it launches with just one map because it's early access. Skyline 10 map. A set of weapons and limited number of items. And they will adjust things based on player feedback. I am pumped. And the map continues the Asian theme as well, but it's its own map. It's not a location you will find in regular Fortnite. Man, I'm pumped for this. Go ballistic. Start with a ranger pistol and 800 credits. Yeah, so you go in and everybody starts with the same thing, a crap pistol, and that's that. And depending on
A crap pistol.
your game,
effective.
how
Droppings
well your
pistol.
team
droppings.
does.
It's also much more expensive.
If you kill people, you'll get credits to use in the game, not real money credits, just in-game credits. And then in between each round, you have a menu that's like, do you want to buy this gun or this piece of armor or whatever? So as the game goes on, everybody gets better weapons and better armor and makes it more interesting. You can drop weapons. There's smoke grenades. There's flashbangs.
The better you
You
play,
can pick
the
up
better
weapons
guns
from
you get.
eliminated players. Rift point devices take 45 seconds to detonate after planted, so you can't just blow it up. I love it. I'm so pumped. I love this idea. And it's a tried and true gameplay setup. Like I said, Counter-Strike is still played to this day, and there's other games that have that kind of mode too. So sign me up. And best of all, it's free. What else did I play? As I said, I didn't play as much as I wanted to this week, but I did find 2 days where I squeezed in Mario and Luigi Brothership and Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake. Last night I played Mario and Luigi Brothership. I'm at the desert island. I don't remember what it's called, but there's all those bone sharks that are swimming around that you have to avoid as you are trying to get the sticky oil. I don't remember what it's called, but you need oil to build a rocket. So that's what I was doing. That was a lot of fun. Some really cool enemies in the desert, like this one like big fish that thinks it's beautiful.
sounds
But
so
as you fight it
nice.
longer in the desert, it gets like
Even-
dehydrated.
even
So like
hotter.
it'll get to a part in the fight where it's like, "Arr," and then it goes from like this big blue water filled thing to like a
Raisin.
squinched up little like orange little fish, like a little skinny big fish. It's funny. I like it. And then there's these other like little
Like that weird fish TikTok you sent me.
there's like these little stone enemies that like just like shuffle along the ground, and their attack is oh no, it's an iguana, a little stone iguana. So it'll either throw its tongue out at you, or they can go invisible. So it's a chameleon.
That's correct.
I'm figuring this all out
Mm.
as I talk about it. They're
Nice.
chameleons, so they can go invisible. So their attack is literally they shuffle towards you, but they go invisible. So you have to time out when they're going to hit you, but you hear their little feet like, and you have to jump to get them. So I'm having a fun time in that part of the game. I finished the first part where you learn and where you get the oil and you bring it back to the Brothership, but I have to go back and do other stuff there. But there's things I haven't learned, so I can't access certain parts of that island yet, but I'll be back. So that's what I did with that last night and had a lot of fun. Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake. I'm making my way through the story. I got to the town where your objective is the one king wants black pepper. And you have to travel halfway across the continent to get it. And you get to this town where there's a black pepper salesman, and it's like, I'm too upset. I can't sell you the pepper. My son's been kidnapped. So I have to go find where he's been kidnapped, and it's in some prison, like a thieves'
spicy.
prison. And it's very spicy. And you work your way through the prison to find him. And spoiler alert, at the end of the prison is Robin Hood again, or Robin Hood, as they call him.
Mhm.
And you have to fight him again. And he's obviously leveled up from the last time you fought him. So that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. And then they gave, something else happened before I got the pepper, but now I got the pepper. And somebody was like, hey, there's this town up above that's got this tower, and there's some like really tough enemies in it. But I hear there's some good stuff. I was like, I'll go check out the tower before I deliver the pepper. So I'm working my way through the tower, not getting my butt kicked, but it's pretty challenging, but it's at the right level of challenging that I'm enjoying it. So I cleared like one portion of it, but I need to go back and explore some of the other areas. And when I managed to get out of the tower once and not die after clearing one whole section of the tower, I was like, okay, here I'm going to stop, and next time I'll go back in and restart the hunt through this tower. So it's fun. I'm loving it. I don't know that I've ever like I've played a good amount of RPGs now, but this one is like, this is an RPG. Like this is a classic old school RPG as they were. And I'm like, wow, I'm really doing it. So I'm just I'm having a fun time, and it's great. It's just, Brothership I will finish first without a doubt because it's a shorter game, but I'm going to be playing at least both of them for another couple weeks. I would imagine Dragon Quest is going to take considerably longer after that. Because I'm going, like I said, back and forth each day. One day this, one day that. And I'm at like over 20 hours with both of them. So I'm putting in time and I'm getting places, and I love them. I will say Mario and Luigi Brothership, in a good way, is getting more difficult than I expected it to get. I've played all the Mario and Luigi RPGs. Some of them has some challenging battles, but this, I feel like, I don't know if it's maybe Acquire being the developer this time around, but there's some challenging battles, and I'm like, this is more difficult than I would have expected. So I'm liking that. I'm having fun. So good times all around. I want to play Infinity Nicky, and I want to play Marvel Rivals because Marvel Rivals just came out and is off to a great start. And I've never played a whatever you call those. Like I've never played.
Is that like a Marvel game where they play basketball?
No,
wait, that's Arch Rivals.
It's like Overwatch basically, and I've never played an Overwatch style game, but I want to play this. It is free to play, so it's on PS5.
And you play as Marvel characters? That's interesting.
Yeah. You got a whole bunch of Marvel characters, and impressions are very good. It's free to play. I've never played one of those games, and I've always wanted to. So of course, because of Marvel, I'm extra interested. So I want to get in there and give it a shot. So this week I am going to make a point to do one of those, Infinity Nicky or Marvel Rivals. Probably Marvel Rivals, because I would imagine Infinity Nicky will demand more attention from me. But I'll share my thoughts on at least one of those come next week.
Did you ever continue on with Emio the Smiling Man after the demo chapters?
I did a couple chapters after the demo, and then something came up for review, and it took me away. Yeah, I have notes on my phone because I was like, I have a feeling I'm not going to get back to this soon. So I left notes to make sure I remember where I'm at. So yes, I want to.
What do your notes say? This one detective's a pervert, and
it just says Emio's Pizza on it.
I want to play on the treadmill, and my plan was to play on the treadmill, but like so many shows have come out now. Like I got like Dune Prophecy and Silo and the Star Wars Skeleton Crew just started, and I don't have like any free days on the treadmill where I'm like nothing to watch.
Goodness.
Plus you've got Cake Toppers and Cookie Cupcake Cake, and just released yesterday on Roku, Clash of the Cookbooks, and then on Hulu, Buddy's Holiday Recipe Rumble.
The Hulu one, I'm subscribed to Hulu on YouTube, and I just got
tasty
in the subscriptions. They put out a trailer for that
for the Recipe Rumble.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad they're advertising something.
I was looking at it.
The other ones you have to like
Hill, but I thought you would be upset because I had like when I looked at it, I had like 300 views or something. So it's okay.
But Freddie Fro asks, "Are you guys going to try the Indiana Jones game because it's got really strong reviews and they are stoked?"
I will try it. It's not at the top of my list. It's not surprisingly a game I'm not that interested in because I know it is a new story and I know it goes all new places, but I know there's also parts that are like relive the original movie and I'm like, I don't want to do that. But yes, I will try it, and I've heard good things about it. I've seen reviews are generally pretty positive for it. So Eurogamer, to my surprise, gave it a 5 out of 5, which is I'm almost always with Eurogamer reviews, so I'm thinking like maybe I'll end up liking this more than I even imagined. But Indiana Jones comes out it's this week. I just don't remember.
Freddie Fro says yesterday. The 3-day access started yesterday, but tomorrow it comes out.
There you go.
I was thinking about that recently. I feel like with the sequels that have come out recently that were kind of not so great.
Thank you, Granimus.
This being
real quick, Granimus says just the tutorials is stuff you've seen before. Well, that's great. Then that's a smart idea for introducing the player.
and I feel like as far as sequels go, being able to play it, it can be like a much more fulfilling experience, and like you're directly, it's not passive, like you're involved, and I think it could be more interesting than some of the other
I don't know how much of it
sequels
is
that have come out.
hyperbole, but I've seen multiple reviews that said this is
The sequel
the
that
best
people wanted.
Indiana Jones since like the worst best Indiana Jones movie, whatever you consider that to be, of the original trilogy. So they're like, outside of the original trilogy, this isn't the next. This is where you get your next Indiana Jones fix. So we shall see. I was going to say,
Plus, it's Indy when he was young. We don't want to see our heroes grow old and
I don't mind
go
old.
back in time.
And
Okay.
the de-aging works so much better in a video game than
It's
in,
true.
in films.
I just got a YouTube notification about it. I meant to bring this up when you were talking about Animal Crossing in the stock market. You've gotten out of the stock market. Did you get in on the Hawk Tua coin?
Oh no!
Hopefully not.
I didn't. Yeah, I heard
There's been quite the rug pull with that.
another one
Rug
of those
pull
pump
with
and
that
dumps.
situation.
Yeah, I don't do that kind of crypto stuff really.
Wow! Look at that picture, Mom Brain.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
great.
That's beautiful.
Randomus is showing their dog standing as a mountain goat, basically. Okay. That's that. Those are beautiful cookies, Rosemary the Farmer. And now,
I think they're ornaments.
no, they're cookies. Infinity Mitten, Star, Switch, and
I think
Wario.
they said ornaments, right?
They're cookies.
Wario's
think
looking
I'm
good.
eating them.
Okay, good luck.
Those Christmas trees. They have some Christmas trees have cookie ornaments on them, and they're like, "Well, Johnny made this fun." I don't give a crap.
Oh yeah,
I'm
like a
eating them.
salt dough. I have a couple of those.
The
One in the likeness of my cat.
the Infinity Mitten is a cute touch.
I don't care that you're saying they're ornaments, Rosemary the Farmer. They're cookies, and I'm eating them. I can't stress that enough.
I mean, anything's a cookie.
As
if
you can
want
see,
it bad
that
enough.
picture has 4 Kirby inhales on it, so other people want to eat those. After a long time, music has returned. By the way, we need more questions and we need more music. Please.
Oh, your
send them
computer
over.
is running out of memory. Goodbye, everybody.
Oh, you scared the crap out of me. We need more music and we need more questions. We need more music and we need more questions. We need more music and we need more questions. Send them
But
to
do you have enough music?
gmail.com. What?
Do you have enough music though?
Send your music to goninpod@gmail.com.
Where do I send that?
goninpod@gmail.com.
Maybe I will.
If you're doing questions, put question in the title. If you're doing music, put music in the title. Oh, wait, we're not doing music. We got to do questions. Questions are first. What am I talking about? It's been so long.
Some people
So
would probably
stupid.
want twice the music and less questions for this.
I got music.
I need both. And we're doing questions. I'm so dumb. Questions first.
I got music.
Ice Dilbert asks, should the next Mario Kart...
I got music.
Should the next Mario Kart include other modes of travel,
I got music.
like boats or jet skis or airplanes or rocket ships? Kind of like a Diddy Kong racing thing?
The cars go through water. Like they've kind of
I like boats.
hit that
I
already.
think
right?
boats or jet skis would be fun,
But the cars already drive underwater, and boats.
but not...
Are the boats going to drive over land? I mean, I'm sure they would be.
I think
You know,
boat
like
would
the
be
way
fun.
the tracks go upside down, and like the motorcycles and cars turn into like hover vehicles, so
So
they
what
can
are
do
you
that with
saying
other
here? It's already
boats.
been
They
done?
can do it, but I feel like it's already been done. for
I
boats.
say no to rocket ships. I say airplanes would probably make people upset because they think of Diddy Kong racing. I'm down with jet skis and boats. That's where I'm at. So yeah, I'm cool if they add that stuff.
As is, the cars fly, they sink.
They glide. They don't fly. We have the flying squirrel, even though it's named flying squirrel. The electric eel is a gliding squirrel. It doesn't actually fly.
And did you learn that from the flying squirrel in our crawl
The
space?
electric eel.
From the droppings.
He learned it from the droppings.
I tasted the droppings and learned all.
It's
I
like
needed to
it's
know.
like reading.
Sample the droppings.
It's like reading tea leaves,
Yeah,
but
fresh.
so
Yes. You guys, vehicles in Mario Kart other than the carts?
I don't know. I kind of agree with you, RMC, but at the same time, I'm
Really
not.
smells good.
I'm not the guy to ask for this stuff because I'll say one thing or I'll think I don't like one thing, and then Nintendo will do it, and I'll be like, "Wow, this is really fun."
I didn't want you to feel bad, but I was thinking that I was saying like I think Deux would be like no until they did it, and then be like yes.
Exactly. Yeah. And I would never think to change up anything the way they do, and they always do it, and I always am critical before I play it, and then I play it, and I'm like, well, I
Like
was
when
wrong.
There
they
you go.
changed Excite Bike into Excite Truck.
And Excite Bot.
Oh my
Bots,
god!
that's what it was.
Look in the Discord. There was a forbidden cheese ball in the bottom of Tater Tots.
Wow.
Utz
I'm
bucket.
so jealous of that.
That
I wanna
is-
eat that.
I mean, that's like a golf ball size,
Oh
right?
my god.
Dial 91 and then eat it, and then dial 1 again.
That's incredible.
Spud, you doing all right, bud?
Oh my god, that's so good.
It's heavy, says
Don't
Tater
eat
Tot.
that.
Oh
Don't
no.
eat it.
Eat it
I don't-
100%.
I don't
Eat it.
think you should eat.
You
that.
should eat. It's just more of what you're already eating, just concentrated. Eat it.
Oh my god, that's like. It's like when Homer ate the 10 pounds of spaghetti in like a bar form in one bite. It's not, hospital please. Basically.
We also have a Patreon question, Walmart. Did you know that you could join the Go Nintendo Patreon
For $1.
for $1, one stinking dollar? Granimus did. Hi, Go Nintendo crew. I tend to watch the show on YouTube every week. That's kind of my default for podcasts. It's nice to have on visually as I work. That being said, is there any benefit to also being a podcast subscriber? I know discussing business is probably a no-no, but I just wonder if my podcast sub and downloads every week help or hurt in a way, like you have to pay the server per download or something. Love y'all. Well, we love you too. As far as YouTube, doesn't really matter. It's for the YouTube version of it. It's just there for fun. The regular audio version, that's where the meat and potatoes are. So subscription there certainly matters. And I'm not paying anything extra. I already pay the highest tier on Libsyn for our hosting. So you can, if it gets, I can't go any higher on Libsyn, so I'd have to go somewhere else. So I'm already paying a max there.
Professor
so-
Lipson.
But obviously your numbers help, so that would be great. So yeah, and obviously reviewing
great
it on
tea.
Apple, their service is great. Give it a
Smash
star
that subscribe button.
and leave a review. Smash that subscribe button. So yeah, that stuff helps. But in all honesty, I don't really care about that stuff. Yes, there are times when it helps, but I just want people who genuinely like the show to subscribe because they enjoy it. So that's how I've done everything with Go Nintendo. To my what's the opposite of benefit?
Detriment.
Detriment. I don't operate Go Nintendo as I should because I don't like to jam things down people's throats and advertise and whatever. I just let it find its own audience because then I know it's genuine and that's what matters to me. And I get crap for it all the time from advertisers, but I haven't changed it and I ain't going to change it now. So if you like the show, subscribe to it. If you like the show and you don't want to subscribe, don't subscribe. It's fine. Just we're happy you're here no matter what. But thank you for asking, Granimus. So you do you, boo. All right, now let's
Here's
do
a little
music.
update. Tater Tot will not allow Spud to eat the cheese ball.
Tater Tot, send it to us and we will eat it.
So, I mean, I get it. You got to be a good parent, and that's why I am choosing not to be a parent.
Send
Because
it
I'd be like,
to
all right,
us.
kid, take a bite. Let me know how it goes.
Tater Tot says, I want to know too, but I'm 40 and I can't take the risk. I am 42. Send it to me. I will eat it on the show. I'm not lying.
You like immediately
I will
start
eat it.
tingling as soon as you eat it.
You don't have dental coverage, so
doesn't
I'm
matter.
I'm pretty sure you shouldn't.
So I break
if
it
it-
up into smaller pieces.
Yeah, well, don't cheat.
I'll chew it and spit it
You
into your
said
mouth.
Don't cheat.
Happy early birthday, Radical Defect.
Give me a PO box and oh
You
my
could
God.
probably
I
slice it like
wanna
a
eat
Christmas ham.
Yes. Oh my God. It'd be like a
Bagel chips, but made out of cheese.
little pea, tiny. Tim,
Oh
whatever.
yeah, the
Mickey's
the-
Christmas
yeah.
Carol.
Yes.
No,
yes.
is it Mickey's
Yeah, when he
Christmas
slices
Carol?
through like the bean.
Or that's
The seafood
Jack and the
slices.
Beanstalk.
Okay. Tater Tot, I'll be in touch. I think I'm going to be in touch on that. All right. Music, Mom Brain, now for real.
Giving him some food for thought.
Send your music to goninpod@gmail.com.
Where?
Goninpod@gmail.com.
I got
Maybe I
music.
will.
Put music in the title. Help out your local Mom Brain.
Help.
Phenomenal. Let me get ready here. What is going on in the Corona clan?
Oh, it's interesting. It's a mystery.
Oh, I can't wait. This weird stuff.
Okay,
Oh,
so here we go.
I got music. You want to hear it?
I
You
do
wanna
want to hear it.
Oh.
The Corona Clan, if that's what you're referring to, Radical Defect, is our
Old people family
chat. Yeah, that we really sort of put together during like lockdown times.
All the moms, dads, aunts, and uncles talking about lots of old people.
The
stuff,
older
and it's
the better.
Very funny. Very funny.
Yeah, there's some gems in there. Okay, so
And they don't mean for it to be funny, but
How do you turn this TV on? Just kidding. I'm kidding.
Not far off.
the first song this week comes from Wired.
Hold on. Yeah, this week I was like, Boyness Plop. This week I was like, hey, Pop Culture Jeopardy is available because a lot of them are game show fans, as am I. And they were like, what's it on? I was like, Amazon Prime. They're like, no, can't do it. And I was like, well, all right, there's no other way to watch it. But somebody else was like, can I watch it on my TV? So there you go. Boyness Blob is the answer.
That's correct.
I thought it was Indiana Jones. Did John Williams do this soundtrack?
Yes.
Nice.
Just listen to what he had to work with.
John Williams did good here.
Like, listen to that drum track. What is that?
I get a TikTok account. You can kill it. I get a TikTok account that plays old game songs but breaks them down by instrument, and you hear each one individually. It's
Wow, that sounds
fascinating.
interesting.
It's very cool, and then you hear the whole song together.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, this one comes from Mikey3319.
This is a circus of some sort.
Super Nintendo.
Yes.
Nicky Hill says circus, so I will guess Arrow the Acrobat.
No.
I will guess Zero the Kamikaze Squirrel.
No.
I will guess Krusty's Funhouse.
No.
I'm out of circus games.
Is it a licensed
It is.
franchise?
Eek the Cat.
No.
Beetlejuice?
No.
Goonies.
No.
Yeah, some like SWAT Cats.
No.
Bugs
Some
Bunny.
like goof.
No.
Is it a goofy cartoon thing? Silly cartoon thing. I don't mean actual. cartoon.
Ren and Stimpy.
Power Rangers.
No.
Bucky O'Hare.
No.
Rugrats? Did we say Rugrats?
No Rugrats games on Super Nintendo.
What's a Super Nintendo?
Batman.
No.
Toxic Avenger.
No.
Captain Planet.
No.
Still around today?
I'm not sure.
Okay,
Gargoyles.
we don't know.
It is in fact Dennis the Menace.
Oh.
Oh, DDM.
Mhm.
I did play that too, but it was not a good game.
This one's from No Blades, No Bows.
DT? Dennis the Menace.
Okay, this has to be Ace Attorney related?
No.
I know this. I think I've played this. Do I know this?
This is not Phoenix Wright related in any way.
No.
It's not a.
It comes.
Is it,
it's a Miles Edgeworth.
Trauma Center, Dama Center?
It is.
Oh, there we go.
There you
Yes.
go.
Very good.
Yeah, this is good.
What the heck is the real
Picture Nicky Hill
Trauma Center.
Trauma Center?
kneeling on the floor with the.
I
Yes,
remember
that's
this.
right. Operating with
Listen.
the star.
Yeah,
It's life and death, guys.
it was. He got real serious.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
It's got a Rolling Thunder 2 on the Genesis feel to it.
Which
The
version?
exact
though?
kind of
Under
music
the
you
knife?
want for
or-
for operations.
This one comes from Storber's Corn.
Rayman?
This is a.
Great guess.
This is like Super Mario something.
It is not.
Sounds like it's serious, but it's being funny. Wait,
Oh,
That's
Punch Out.
Punch Out.
yeah,
It is.
Yeah.
so that's Punch Out on the Wii.
It is.
Nice.
Great job, guys.
Yeah, that's great.
I love how it dawned on all of you at the same
Yeah,
time.
I've gotten somebody just this week multiple times who's playing Punch Out. Like I get them on TikTok. They're playing Punch Out on the Wii live. I see them all the time.
Here's one from Nico Darunia.
Super Mario World.
You got it.
Boop, boop, beep, boop,
Wow.
boop, beep, boop, boop. It's the end of the game.
So nice and quiet.
It's a great song, and like the very end of it where it like slows down really makes you go to the like very end because it's like a classic like ending approach to a song. Yeah, this part. Such a trope ending to that song.
Great. It's great. Okay, that was from Nico Darunia. This one is from Jet Jaguar.
Focus, all attacks. Okay, I guess DS.
No.
Man, I don't know. I guess Super Nintendo?
That's correct.
Sounds pretty good for Super Nintendo,
I like it.
right?
Yeah. They knew what they were doing, but I don't know it, so it's something I'm gonna. It has to be something I didn't play. Franchise?
Yeah.
I just be pulling stuff out my ass. I got no idea. The sound is not familiar enough for me to pick out a company. I got nothing on this.
I don't know.
You guys give up?
Or
I
are you
do.
thirsty for more?
I give up.
I give up too.
Harvest Moon.
Makes sense.
That sounded great. Like just the sound quality of it sounded
That's
really
like a
nice.
classic Super Nintendo sound. Yeah, that's
Man.
when I think of Super Nintendo in my head. That's the kind of stuff I think of.
Yeah, that was good.
Here's a little something from Grantimus.
Oh.
Bayonetta.
No.
Great
Xenoblade.
guess.
No.
I definitely know. I know this.
Smash
I don't
Brothers.
know why I know this.
You do know this. It is not Smash Brothers.
Octopath Traveler.
No.
Wonderful 101.
Why do I know this? And I'm thinking it's not Nintendo related, which would be an infraction.
It is on the Switch.
It's on the Switch? Then I don't know.
Control.
No.
Doesn't sound like it.
I don't know. I got nothing. It's very familiar.
Is it like Hogwarts Legacy?
All I can
Kingdom
tell you
Hearts.
is I know it's making me think that it's something epic about something that's not epic.
You're right.
Oh.
But I don't know what it is.
Worms Armageddon.
I said not.
Rabbids.
Pokemon.
If it's on Switch, I have no clue.
You played it.
Rayman.
Clearly, I've played
World
it.
of Goo.
Nope.
That's not a bad get. I mean,
Something
it doesn't
tells
fit
me
with the not
Everyone
serious
at the
part.
table has heard this. I'm pretty sure.
You're not making any sense.
I don't complete a lot of games.
Something's not lining up.
Solitaire?
If we've all played it then, and she knows it, then it's
I don't know that everyone's played it, but I'm pretty sure everyone has experienced it.
What
all
more?
right. With the way you're talking, then it's Honey Pop.
It sure is.
That's not
What?
on Switch.
Honey Pop 2 Double Date is not
No.
on the Switch.
No Honey Pop games are on anything but PC.
I also have never experienced Honey Pop.
I'm so sorry. Well, Grantimus.
That's an intense Honey Pop song.
Grantimus, you're in
It's
the.
like the final. I was gonna say fight. Well, it's technically a fight at the end of the game. Yeah.
Hmm.
You're in the Discord, aren't you, Grantimus?
Not on Switch.
Do you have anything to say for yourself, Grantimus?
Guaranteed not on Switch.
That kind of breaks the rules, right?
He's-
Isn't it?
Granimus says I broke the rules.
The
Oh
only
no.
rule is it has to be.
Granimus, it's okay because we got there. Mom Brain was trying to steer us
No,
away at first.
It's not okay. Get out of the
Discord.
Discord.
Don't listen
I'm
to
just
him,
kidding. I'm
Granimus.
kidding. I'm
This
kidding.
next song comes from Tony Delamancha.
Is it on Switch? Oh, it is. It's Super Mario Brothers Wonder.
It is.
It's the Piranha Plant song. think I might have messed up my song count here. I apologize.
This is nice.
It's a fun game.
It's another game I started and
It
stopped.
sounds like raw meat walking around the house. Beautiful. Funny enough, when I was out with your sister this week, she was
Telling you
might
things about her life that you didn't tell me. I know.
no, she might have been like meowing along with the song or something, and I was like, well, there's
It's
the
like
family
I'm with
resemblance.
Rami.
This one comes from Mafio.
Well, I've never heard a song more Metroid Prime than this. I just don't know what Prime.
It's Metroid Prime.
Okay. That little that's so Metroid.
The next song is our last song.
Okay.
Forever. Not if you don't send in
This
songs.
one comes with
A special note.
it's got a like a winter holiday theme to it.
You want us to guess before you start
From
playing?
Blood
it?
Ocean 07.
Banjo Kazooie.
No.
Well, I only know this because of you. It is not something I played, but I've certainly heard it. This is Stardew Valley.
It is. Dude, I feel like you might enjoy Stardew
I'm
Valley.
sure he
I like
would.
the music,
Yeah.
all the music that I've heard.
What's that one incredible song in Stardew
They're all
Valley?
great.
I want to say one of them is Winter Release.
Winter.
Is it is there a stock market?
Is there something related to that?
I don't know.
You played the game. Is there anything that's like the stock market?
I don't think so.
They won't stop me or start me.
I mean, I don't know what to look up, but like,
I feel like it would be a deal breaker to have something like the stock market, but if it doesn't,
That's not it.
it's got all the perks without the
I got it.
squirks. I don't know.
It's called Winter. Just go to Stardew Valley Winter.
oh, that's usually a good one.
I said
I'm looking
Stardew
for
Valley. Just
Winter.
type in Stardew Valley Winter. It'll be the first thing that comes up. No. The wind. This is it. The wind can be still. This song's incredible. This is another Anamoya song for me.
Yeah, this is nice. I've definitely heard most of the soundtrack before.
It is nice. Well, that's all of our music for this week, everybody.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of 10.
6 out of 9.
6 out of 9.
6 out of
people. We did it.
9.
And music is back. Music's back, Mom Rain. Tell people they need to send in more music.
You need to send in more music.
Can I get something a little more impassioned?
You need to send in more music.
How about this?
Finally!
How about this? Teacher version. Send in more music.
Cats and kittens, I need you to send in some more music,
There's the
please.
tone. Oh, if there's a tone I hate, that is it. But I'll do what you're asking.
You got cats in your classes, not just all kittens?
You know, like jazz. Cats and kittens.
Okay.
I mean, I got
Also,
teenagers.
yes, real cats and kittens.
You know, they're teenagers in my neck of the woods, so I gotta give them put a little stank on that. Give them a little
Put
respect.
some stank on it.
All right, guys. That's all we got. As it was a great
That
show.
re-
so we're
whoa,
outta
that
here.
reminds me of that other one that, oh man, what was that? Oh god. Maybe it's a TikTok song. Did it? It's almost like theremin comes in. I don't know I don't even know how
I
to
would
sing
love nothing more
it than for me to sing
you
it, but
to
I
sing
can't sing it right now because
Know
I don't
this
know what
song.
it actually is.
You started.
No, but I was way off and that's why I stopped.
No, you did something right. It was
Yes.
the Wii U part was right.
Yeah,
You
that was. I
continue.
was almost there. I just need.
I don't know how to get there. I don't know what comes next. I'm telling you, I stopped and that was it.
Okay, then we'll stop talking about it.
Okay.
We've got nowhere to go.
Happy December. It's New Year's got a couple weeks. What was I going to say? Have a great week.
Have a great week, everybody.
Have a
Cat-
great week,
After-
everybody.
Cats and kittens.
Oh,
You hear what I have to share with you.
what do you got?
Deux views.
Oh,
it's
gosh.
never news. Rumor of the week with Deux
These
Michaels.
spiders and flies don't rest.
So, ladies and gentlemen, even though it's holiday time, the spiders and flies are still doing their jobs. They're going around all over They're gonna find they find rumors of video game related things, and they bring them to me, and I share them here.
They're
So
like the UPS folks,
similar,
working all through the holiday.
very similar, and this one is no different. So actually, it is different. So usually the things that I share are rumors. This one is true.
Holy crap!
Take it to the bank.
Wow.
Wow.
You heard it here, people. We got a true one.
This one's true. So
In a week full of
definitely,
all kinds of rumors, it's nice to have one that we know is true.
definitely share it wherever you could be publicly embarrassed. So it says right here that according to Doug, wow, this is really good. According to Doug Bowser's uncle,
Hi, brother.
he told this to my spiders and flies. He says the Switch successor has been named, and it's they wanted to kind of right some of the wrongs they did in the past, so they're calling it the Switch U, spelled Wiitch, the
Yeah.
Switch, like Wii U, Switch U, and
Catchy.
and yeah, so. And if I get Doug Bowser's uncle fired for this, I'm very, very sorry, but that's where it comes from.
I don't mean to step on toes here, but I heard they're bringing back Mario's ambassador, Charles Martinet, to do the advertising, and he will be in commercials saying, "I want Sweet You."
I like.
But
So wait, does
not same
That's
sources.
just
as
a
this, so I don't
rumor.
know.
That's just a rumor.
hold
That's not-
on?
that sounds preposterous.
I think
to me.
your spiders and flies have just touched on something like
Let me clarify. It's just a rumor. Yes.
pretty scandalous or whatever. Doug Bowser's uncle works at Nintendo as well,
Nepotism.
and that's how Doug Bowser got the job. Or is it that Doug Bowser works at Nintendo and his uncle doesn't, but his uncle got the information from Doug Bowser and is sharing
Can he,
it
get,
separately?
he can't reveal these details.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain things like
Spiders and flies, get to the bottom
familial
of this.
matters.
We got
that
the scoop.
that I don't want to share.
That was
you know,
the
for-
working title for Family Matters, and they wanted something to float a little better.
With familial
Matters.
Uh,
Well, thank you for the very true.
Sha-na-na-na.
All right, everybody. Yes, it was the crossover that never happened between Family Ties and Family Matters. Thanks for watching.
Familial
And thanks for
ties.
listening. We'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Familial ties.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Goodbye.
Are you sticking around?
My aunt just showed up at my house, so I guess so.
Nice.
Okay.
We going to eat.
We're going to eat, but where are we going? Let's do this on the after show without naming, or we can say places
still-
in
yeah,
general,
we're
but
still-
if they're not named places, don't say them. But what do we got? We got Chili's. Well, I should just be Chili's, I guess.
No,
I can
it's
watch
whatever.
No, that's not me being upset. Like,
Okay.
come on, the 3 for $3. You guys get your chippies. They got that lovely brownie.
Dew said he was really hungry, so
I was
think
thinking
I'm hungry.
that place that there's the place by Deux, but then there's that place that's about the same name.
Maybe you should text us.
The pizza place that's like horror themed.
Oh,
That place. That's the same name. I gotcha.
Mm.
I mean, sure, that's an option. I guess we will talk about this afterwards since we're getting into places we can't say. And yes, Malakalo, I still say that all the time. Hi, welcome to Chili's. Radical Defect says, I'm going to Outback for my birthday, mostly because literally all my favorite local places I've already been to this week.
Get that bloomin' onion. I mean, I know it's played out, but holy cow, is that
Last
thing good?
time we went to Outback, but it was
no, we went to Texas Roadhouse.
no. Hold on, let me tell the story. Over a decade ago, for
It's a core memory
we remember
here.
with my parents and my sister.
Was that Outback?
What was it if it wasn't Outback? Because they had a bloomin' onion.
Okay.
And I remember that being a terrible time.
Okay.
Remember,
Bye,
like there
have
was
a
a
terrible
really
time.
long wait.
I have a
and
vague recollection.
I don't know why that sticks out in my mind so much, but boy, oh boy. We also have Wegmans. We go sit in Wegmans and we could get whatever we want downstairs.
I went to that burger place last Sunday.
Mm.
Nobody was in there. Sunday at like 6:00, the time to go.
So you went to the actual burger one,
Yeah.
not the okay, yeah. Wow, yeah. Every time we're there, it's busy. All right, everybody. That's all we got. We're very hungry, so we're gonna go eat. But keep that bloomin' onion off my steak, says Grant. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Play some games, hang out with friends and family, rest, relax. You deserve it. And we will see you next week. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great week. Stay safe.
The
Oh.
camera was way wonky the whole time. I didn't even know it.